lágbàáyé lábẹ́ ààrẹ wa ọmọọba Adébáyọ̀ Fáládé igbákejì ààrẹ Mákindé Àdùnbí kẹ́ńtò ń ṣe ìrọ́kẹ̀kẹ̀ ìgbáradì níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti ẹ̀mí ìforihàn àgbékalẹ̀ àyẹ́sí ọjọ́ ìbí Ìgbòho fún tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àkọlé dinner with Ìgbòho. Bákan náà làwọn mọ̀ gba ọba ògbóni àgbáyé lálejò Tajudeen Ọlárẹ̀wájú Àjàlá àti bàbá Adésọjí Tàlàbí àwòrò ṣàṣà eégún mọ̀gájí nílùú London láti wá ṣe àyẹ́sí fún olóyè Ìgbòho lọ́jọ́ náà tí ó wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ńlá ní London Kensington 179-199 Holland Park Avenue London W11 United Kingdom bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago méje ìrọ̀lẹ́ ẹlẹ́lẹ́dago méjìlá òru. Bákan náà láti kí wa kú ìmúrasílẹ̀ ìwọ́de làmìlaka tẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ ènìyàn tí ó wáyé nílùú ọba 1 million rally in London lọ́jọ́ kejìlá oṣù kẹwàá tó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kejìdínlá pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho léyìí tó Ọláyọmí Kóìkì àti bàbá wa Gbẹ̀du ọmọ ṣàkóso ẹ̀ lọ́kàn ọ̀jọ̀gá àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn. Bàbá àṣẹ máa fi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé ńlá ní London route bus gbé àwọn àgbààgbà àti àwọn abarapá gbogbo láti BBC in Oxford Street títí tí ìwọ́de ó fi parí sí Paris Trafalgar Square tó bá wá di ọjọ́ kẹtàlá ọjọ́ kẹtàdínlá pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho. Láwọn máa ṣàbẹ̀wò lọ sí ìlú Manchester gan fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti dá sí ètò ìfọlọ́ndrìlì ẹ lè gbé tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp Ọláyọmí Kóìkì lórí +447-594-050-979 ẹ̀dẹ́ Ìkẹ́ Àdùbí lórí +447-570-320-030 Ṣọlá Kòkòdọ̀kú lórí +353-863-375-537. Bákan náà ní ẹ lè kàn sí Tóyìn Ọláoyè lórí +447-896-018-764 lápapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá àgbáyé pátápátá YSDN pẹ̀lú Yorùbá World Media Home and Diaspora àti gbogbo ìkànnì mìíràn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fún ìjàǹgbara ọmọ Yorùbá. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lọ́dọ̀ àpapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe kí ọmọ aládìgbò wípé sàmọ́dún àsàmọ́dún sẹ́ẹ̀mí ìtayàtọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá World Media ló ń kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Lálà olùlọ́jọ́ kọkànlá oṣù kẹwàá sẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ gbọ́. Ọjọ́ tó ń sọjọ́ ìbí ọmọ aládìkún olóyè Sunday Májàsọ́lá Àdìsá ọmọ Adéyẹmọ aka Ìgbòho Òòṣà nípa bí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lọ́dọ̀ àpapọ̀ Yorùbá lágbàáyé lábẹ́ ààrẹ wa ọmọọba Adébáyọ̀ Fáládé igbákejì ààrẹ Mákindé Àdùnbí kẹ́ńtò ń ṣe ìrọ́kẹ̀kẹ̀ ìgbáradì níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti ẹ̀mí ìforihàn àgbékalẹ̀ àyẹ́sí ọjọ́ ìbí Ìgbòho fún tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àkọlé dinner with Ìgbòho. Bákan náà làwọn mọ̀ gba ọba ògbóni àgbáyé lálejò Tajudeen Ọlárẹ̀wájú Àjàlá àti bàbá Adésọjí Tàlàbí àwòrò ṣàṣà eégún mọ̀gájí nílùú London láti wá ṣe àyẹ́sí fún olóyè Ìgbòho lọ́jọ́ náà tí ó wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ńlá ní London Kensington 179-199 Holland Park Avenue London W11 United Kingdom bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago méje ìrọ̀lẹ́ ẹlẹ́lẹ́dago méjìlá òru. Bákan náà láti kí wa kú ìmúrasílẹ̀ ìwọ́de làmìlaka tẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ ènìyàn tí ó wáyé nílùú ọba 1 million rally in London lọ́jọ́ kejìlá oṣù kẹwàá tó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kejìdínlá pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho léyìí tó Ọláyọmí Kóìkì àti bàbá wa Gbẹ̀du ọmọ ṣàkóso ẹ̀ lọ́kàn ọ̀jọ̀gá àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn. Bàbá àṣẹ máa fi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé ńlá ní London route bus gbé àwọn àgbààgbà àti àwọn abarapá gbogbo láti BBC in Oxford Street títí tí ìwọ́de ó fi parí sí Paris Trafalgar Square tó bá wá di ọjọ́ kẹtàlá ọjọ́ kẹtàdínlá pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho. Láwọn máa ṣàbẹ̀wò lọ sí ìlú Manchester gan fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti dá sí ètò ìfọlọ́ndrìlì ẹ lè gbé tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp Ọláyọmí Kóìkì lórí +447-594-050-979 ẹ̀dẹ́ Ìkẹ́ Àdùbí lórí +447-570-320-030 Ṣọlá Kòkòdọ̀kú lórí +353-863-375-537. Bákan náà ní ẹ lè kàn sí Tóyìn Ọláoyè lórí +447-896-018-764 lápapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá àgbáyé pátápátá YSDN pẹ̀lú Yorùbá World Media Home and Diaspora àti gbogbo ìkànnì mìíràn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fún ìjàǹgbara ọmọ Yorùbá. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lọ́dọ̀ àpapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe kí ọmọ aládìgbò wípé ẹ kú ọdún ẹ kú ìyèdún àti ìsàmọ́dún àsàmọ́dún sẹ́ẹ̀mí ìtayàtọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá World Media ló ń kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá.
It's been a very busy, long day, but we have to do what we have to do because that is the only thing that can keep us going. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ kálẹ́ ẹ má bínú pé ó pẹ́ tí àtúnjáde. I've been in meetings, I've been in all manner of different engagement, but we give thanks that things are working as we want, and we have to be grateful. What God cannot do does not exist. Kò sí tí Elédùmarè ò lè ṣe. Ó lè pẹ́, ó lè jìnnà, but nígbà tó bá máa dé báyìí, ìyá máa béèrè pé kí ló dé tí kìíní ṣe wá pẹ́ báyìí. I won't go into more details. But there's a lot to cover and there's a lot to appreciate, because this fight, we will see the end of it. We will see the end of it. People might have all kind of things to say that it's not going to be possible. But I can tell you that the fight is getting closer and closer. Let me first welcome us to the program. You are watching a live transmission at 21:30 100 hours in the UK. That means 9:30. Same time with Nigeria. Share the program and invite your friends, family, so that they can also join this particular discussion. I told you I will be your last man standing. If everybody's getting tired, be rest assured that this platform will keep the spirit of the Yoruba nation alive. We will get there. I am just so happy, but not all the details can be shared. Let me first appreciate Professor Adebanji Akitoye. Let's read the anthem, then we go straight into the program. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀ ìbí wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga falẹ̀rẹ̀. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira. Ní kẹjẹ ká máa lépa ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ́pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Let me first appreciate whatever God you believe in. Let's hold on to it. Ẹ má ẹ̀kẹ́ni kankan sọ fún yín pé kò sọ lọ́hùn. Ọ̀kẹ́ni kankan sọ fún yín pé it cannot be possible. Our words carries a very heavy weight, and we are grateful to have Professor Adebanji Akitoye to give us the hope that we are feeling the energy today. We might not be there yet, but the system is crumbling itself. I'm hearing the news that few people have been picked up, or they are looking for them for attempt coup. I told you this about almost a year ago plus. A lot of people wants to know what next and how we will achieve this Yoruba nation. But one thing is that something would have to fall for something to rise. Whatever tó bá jẹ́ obstacle fúnran Yorùbá, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ fall. It does not matter whatever it is. Tó bá jẹ́ country ni, that country has to fall. If it's individual, they will have to fall. Because our people have suffered enough. We are at the back end. And as much as many of you think that when we come on a live show like this, it will be nice to be giving you all the nitty-gritties, which is not possible. Because we are not acting a movie. Ṣé ìyàwó tó pè mí lọ́sàn-án pé ilẹ̀ táwọn ní wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbà tán mọ́ àwọn lọ́wọ́. If the system was working, that shouldn't happen. We're talking about people to people. Gbogbo alamọ bí ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ ṣe rí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. When it comes to land dispute, it's one of the biggest threats to mankind. And it's because things have not been documented in the innovative way. So, a lot. But before I go into my discussion tonight, let me bring you up to date with the development that we announced on this platform yesterday. And that development was fruitful. It shows the power of the people and what alliances means, because not everybody understands alliance. We will have our own differences, and there will always be trust issue, but we must not allow that to fail us when it comes to our alliance. In the future, we will have alliance with different countries around the world, including our former one body that has now have their own nation. There will be alliance. There will be security part. There will be education. I learn a lot every day, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. I didn't know that in the country, like in UK, not everybody can learn any course. You sometimes have to apply for a certification for a particular course to buy involved with security, especially when it comes to bombs, when it comes to weapons and things of such. To study in the UK, you will need a certificate, a clearance certificate. But out of all the countries that I saw, Africa and Economic because they can't trust us enough. That is found just to come and study in those sectors. I am not talking about your basic accounting law. I'm talking about sensitive area. For those that live in the UK will know what I call Academic Technology Approval Scheme. Atlas, Alpha Tango, Alpha Sarah. These are very important to security of this country, so they can't joke with it. So we would have alliance with the Biafrans. We might not like it. In the near future, we must have, so that if there's a threat, lọ́jọ́ iwájú tó fi wá látọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn, how do we know if we don't have that alliance? Even as America, the police of the world, they still have parts with Iran and North Korea. So, but when people say, oh, we can't trust them because of issues that have gone past us, I understand. But in the near future, we would have alliance with many countries, and we will continue to review those alliances. But one thing a lot of Yoruba don't know is that we are bitter, just like a lot of them are bitter as well. Everybody's bitter. That is what the British have done. So for the first thing, we got to first know that we are all a bitter individual. So we will not trust each other. And I stated it yesterday in the program. And like I always say, sometimes you need those alliances. Because it is those alliances that will give you a bit of push, especially in Nigeria. Tabafe really low. You cannot do it alone. We will have alliance with other countries within the borders, the Benin Republic, the Togo, the Ghana, Sierra Leone, European countries. But ẹ bá ní ẹ fẹ́ ní alliance, á jẹ́ pé ẹ lè dágbé gbogbo ẹ̀. And I'm sure you cannot. Even America has alliance. Because àwọn kankan ṣì máa ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tá a bá gba country wa táwọn ọmọ wa máa lọ rìnrìn gbèrègbèrè lọ sáwọn ìlú burúkú kan tó máa mú wọn sílẹ̀ níbẹ̀. So if you don't have great alliance, you will not get those your children back. That is why America was able to have one of their children, or two, 5, to be returned back to the US. But they have to also sacrifice with their alliance friends in Germany, and I think, if I'm right, 2 Eastern European countries. If you ever follow news in some few weeks back, when there was a transfer of prisoners between America and Russia. Ẹni tí Russia fi gbà padà is a close ally to Putin. Ẹni tó súnmọ́ Putin ni. We don't know what job he does. But it was picked up in America. But for America to be able to release him back, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́kọ́ sọ fún Germany láti gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan. And from what I heard, these were going behind the scene for over 2 years. It was almost derailed nígbà tí ìjà Palestinian àti Israel today. Imagine that negotiating kankan for 2 years, because America's citizens must not live outside, especially if they've been picked up for the wrongdoing. But in táwa fẹ́ ni pé in tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sọmọ Yorùbá ká má worry, ká fi sílẹ̀ torí pé a fẹ́ ní alliance. So tó bá tẹ̀ pa sọ̀hún ó pa sọ̀hún nìyẹn. That is not what we're going to do in the future Yoruba country. It doesn't matter whether they agree with us. In tó ń pè ní government nìyẹn. Government goes and protect and defend their citizens regardless of ibikíbi tó bá wà. And that is why we say Nigeria has failed every one of us. Because Nigeria will lay, protect us and defend us wherever we are. Not even within Nigeria. Kàmá ti sọ pé àwọn àtàwà níta. So tẹ́yìn kan bá wá sọ pé ẹ má ní alliance pẹ̀lú Biafra. Sometimes I laugh. Màá kọ́ ni mo ti gbọ́ ni. That's all I'll tell you. Màá ni mo ti gbọ́. That is all. Because I know what diplomacy and negotiation means. Torí àwọn ọjọ́ kan wà tá a lè emphasize àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé we are not really serious to get a country. Because èmi ò mọ country tẹ́ fẹ́ gbà, tẹ́ fẹ́ isolate ara yín. I have told you that we will fingerprint everybody in the near future kó tó wọlé wa àtẹni tó ń gbé nínú bẹ̀. Because we need to identify who is who. We will facial recognition, and we will fingerprint them. So that when things go wrong, we can point and know who it is. We will have our constitution that everybody will respect. We will run our government separate from any country. So why are you worried? Àfi tí nǹkan mi bá wà níbẹ̀. Some of you think that ọ̀rọ̀ Yoruba nation is just Yoruba nation now, Yoruba nation now. There are things that would happen. But the only thing you must not afford to do is to compromise and sell your people out. That is not what I would do. But when it comes to alliance that can help us in the eventuality of what we don't know, I will not go into all the nitty-gritty, like I said, because that is what some of you want to hear. But I will not tell you. The first call I received this morning was about 7 a.m. And the news came to my desk that the picture, we didn't give you a name, but àwọn tó mọ orúkọ yẹn, I think they were able to find out for those that know him. I came out yesterday and I told you, just without a name, just with a picture of a Yoruba man that must be released according to the government in exile of the Biafra under the leadership Simon Ekpa. Some of you might be wondering, what is it all about? That's what I will not tell you, because that is what is called classified information. And I'm happy that nobody asked me, apart from your comments that we were all reading through, and we don't have any reason to respond to that. But what I can tell you, it was not up to 12 hours after Simon Ekpa, the PM of the Biafra government in exile, released that information on his ex-handle. Some Biafra were also bitter, just like the Yorubas, because I read some of their comments. They wanted to know more. But like I said, you can't know more. You can only know what we tell you. And we will tell you more at the appropriate time when things will be declassified. But for now, when things are classified, it remains classified. And that is what makes us different. Because I should fracas the divide. Let me go back to the government of the Biafra, Simon Ekpa, and take you back that on the 1st of September, because things does not tell lies. That is the good thing about technology. You can look at the timeline, and then you look at the timeline of Nigeria, you know that that country is dead. At exactly 1903 p.m. or 7:03 p.m. 1st of September, initially the 2nd. This is what Simon Ekpa wrote. We demand the immediate release of this Yoruba man without a name within 24 hours, or the entire location will be engaged from tomorrow, which would have been today, by the Biafra Liberation Army. Some people thought it was a joke. The word that comes out from our mouth, I told you, this generation is different from yours. Generation to Joko is completely different from yours. Ṣé bàbá temani ọ̀dàlẹ̀ làwọn Ìgbò náà mọ̀ pọ̀ dàlẹ̀ làwa náà. It's vice versa. Wọ́n mọ̀ pọ̀ dàlẹ̀ làwa náà, àwa náà mọ̀ pọ̀ dàlẹ̀ ni wọ́n. But that is not where we are going. Where we are going is that, do we need alliance?
Is there any grey bags here?
Any what?
Is there any grey bags?
Grey bags? No. There's no bags there. There's nothing here. Okay? But people, there's nothing there. That one, maybe this one. Yeah, that's the grey bag. But people love to know too much. What has he done? Who is he? Why is Simon Ekpa? You know, Nnamdi Kanu is still in the prison. By Tinubu, you are talking about release. Because they want to know. Because you want to know. At exactly 7:05, just less than 5 minutes that I got the information that this man has been released, I communicated back to Simon Ekpa right in front of me. My first message to him was 7:05. Like I said, you will not know all the details. But this is what I said. I've just got a call that this man that we did not tell you much have been released with his family. That's all I'll tell you. He has been released with his family. And that's all I can tell you. That was my message to Simon Ekpa this morning at about 7:05. And it didn't take 30 minutes before he replied my message back. Good to hear that. This is what alliance is all about. Watching each other's back and fighting for one another, which is what the Yoruba people don't want, especially the Afonjas, the bomb bastards. Think that because of so many things, of differences that have happened in the past, we would then allow the criminal politicians to make division among people that truly wants to go. You are bomb bastard. Ẹ mọ ní tẹ́ ń bá deal. Tẹ́ bá rò pé àwọn set àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re lè ń bá deal àbáwọn Ìbà Gani Adams. You're not dealing with that. We're dealing with we are a new breed of generation tàwa làwa wáyé. Ìbà Gani Adams generation has gone. OPC. Because when they were active was after the death of Abiola. Today, nobody respects them anymore. To some extent. So this is another generation that is fighting with the social media, the power of social media. Within 12 hours, the news came back that he has been released. What does that mean? It means nothing to you. But what it means is that if truly Tabana Fegba country, we must be ready to protect any sons and daughters of Yorubas wherever they are in the world. Because we didn't tell you the location. Some of you want to know. Really? No, you don't need to know that. But all I can tell you is that I would like to appreciate once again the government of the Biafra government in exile for taking our message very as VVIP, even with all the Afonjas that fight them and the ones that fight them from our own side, because it's vice versa. We saw one that once says he was going to buy every one of us. But we are not going to look at so many other things. What we want is, can we create an alliance that can protect Yoruba people? Because ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tó mú, and why and what could have led to that. But like I said, it's not for the public consumption. And there was other discussion that is not for you all to know between myself and Simon Ekpa. I'll leave that. But as I was also still communicating with him, he was also responding back because there were still other things that needs to be tidied up, which he promised to complete. We know those behind the kidnap, but it's not for the public consumption. We will leave that with the Biafra government in exile to deal with that. My job is just to come out and say thank you so much for responding to an SOS, which is what we want the Nigerian government to have done to everybody if truly there was a country. Because most Nigerians need SOS. When you look at what has happened in Nigeria since over 20 years of madness, of kidnapping, killings, ransom, some people just need that SOS. But those SOS is not activated because nobody cares about you as a citizen. That is what we've been able to activate yesterday. There might be more in the near future, we don't know. But yesterday, we activated an SOS through the Biafra government in exile. And even in the midst of all the chaos on the social media and the backbiting and the mistrust, the Biafra government in exile took our SOS and activated on it, and the result came back at exactly, again with a time frame, at exactly 7:40. Look at the timeline. I communicated with the government of the Biafra at 7:05. By 7:40, 35 minutes after that, this is what Simon posted on his X handle. We wish to inform the public that this morning, just a few minutes ago, the leaders of the Yoruba nation has confirmed that this Yoruba man has been released and is now with his family. And that's all you need to know for now. Mo dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Whether you agree with the alliance or not, we will have to protect Yoruba people against danger. It has affected our country near. If you're not going to do that, it's a waste of time. So as I leave us with that, which I can't go further, all I can say is that we give thanks to Eledumare that this individual was not killed. It could have been one other Yoruba man that is gone, or maybe extra people that surrounded him that we will not go into the details. If the Nigerian government can just do a bit of extra with all the resources that they have, with all the powers that they have, with everything that they have to protect every Nigerian regardless of their color, regardless of their religion, their belief, I'm sure there will be more Nigerians living today. Do you agree with me on that? That a máa ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó máa wà láyé lénìí. I would just want you to know that asking for a country is not an easy task. Asking for a country involves a lot. America might not even trust Great Britain, but they still have alliance and relationship with them. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that, because when Donald Trump becomes the president, it will shake up everything again. Maybe some of you, the Yoruba nation, is far beyond that. Nobody trusts each other, but have that alliance because you never know when you're going to need it.
Good morning, sir.
This is just a little bit snip, just to confirm to you that we got our man back from the danger he was. And I mean real danger.
Good morning, sir. I may be that guy with the holo. I say make I same voice greet you, and in short, I greet you specially. I greet you, all my family greet you. They don't release me this morning. I thank God though.
And that's all you need to hear. Moki Bogoma Yoruba Nile, let's come back to the program and let's leave that for now. We are now in the countdown to a big event. And there's a lot of work going on from the YSDM to the committee and to the individuals. I'm receiving calls from people that we probably even have never heard from. The event is free for the rally. Dinner and Nikoni, it cost £100. I mean, to come and eat with Igboho, that £100 will be probably maybe 2 days of our wages. And I mean 2 days. If I were to pay as you go, because if you do £11 an hour, you need about 10 hours to cover the cost of that dinner. but if you think or tá bá rò pé ẹni tá fi wá bá jẹ dínà yìí ó wọ̀tẹ̀ ó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, then maybe we should do some extra hours to cover the cost and come and join him for the dinner so that we can have a celebration of life, because Igboho wà láyé la ṣe ń celebrate it. He could have been killed in July 2021 by a Bororo man, tó ń pè ní Buhari, dead or alive, because the Biafra believe Buhari is by. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to that, but that is what they say. But like I always say, kò sí tí wọ́n bá tọ́jú pamọ́ tójú Ọlọ́run ò ní tó. Whether Buhari don pa, he no pa, that àṣírí yẹn máa tú, and àṣírí yẹn wà lọ́wọ́ Tinubu, and I know that Tinubu knows something about that, but he's playing a game with them. In tí mo fẹ́ ká understand ni pé the dinner that we are announcing for Igboho is not to raise money for him. You are paying to come and eat with him. That is what the dinner is all about. You are not going to come in without being served a meal. You'll be having a meal and you have some kind of interaction with him, at least within the confinement of these small numbers of people. So I've been told by the committee that there is still ample of ticket that can be snapped. How many tickets is what I don't know, but I'm told that I should tell us that there is still ticket for those that can afford it. If you can, it will be a privilege to meet not just Igboho, many other people that you might be like, ẹ̀yin ni this man lórí social media, mo rò pé ghost ni, so it will be nice. But if you cannot make it for the dinner, I beg us to make it down for the rally. Do you know the purpose for rally yẹn ni pé we want to also tell àwọn èèyàn wa nílé pé we are still with them, because some of them they've given up. We are in the UK to Nigeria. I've been told, I used to say 6,000 miles, but I'm told now it's 3,000 miles. We are far away, and that means we are still well secured in this country compared to those in Nigeria. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Regardless of whether you have status to remain in this country or not, and I beg you, if you don't have your status yet, please put in something. There's never a case that is good. I was listening to one of the legal lawyer, lawyer Tokumbo Lagbaje, I hope I pronounced that name very well, talking about if you have received a letter that says 60 days to leave this country, they mean it. It is going to be 60 days. Yes, from the US, I'm told it's about 6,000 miles. I can definitely say so. From the UK, it's 3,000 miles. Those in the US are also secure. So, not to deviate from the program and the topic, what we are saying is that we are now on a countdown. Yes, a lot of people wants to come from Nigeria. Some are trying to say, look, we're going to apply for the visa and see if they get a visa. I won't be the one in charge of the visa, but I'm speaking to our team back home. I'm having communication with them, those that are interested to come. But like I said, you're just going to put an application just like any other person. I wish many of you would get a visa to come down. But don't worry, ìyẹn la ṣe ń bẹ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń gbé nílùú yìí ní gbogbo Europe pé kẹjọ. I spoke to my brother in Germany, Space TV, Yoruba Space TV, and he's also telling me he will be coming down. Book the ticket if you're coming from Europe. It's cheap. Flight ticket probably less than 100. Because they say holiday anytime here, so it's cheap. Students already returned back to school. I will be saying good afternoon to good evening to you all, but you can get the program going because. So, I know it's a Saturday, lot of weddings, other engagement. But remember that this one is going to happen in the morning. We are having conversation with the Metropolitan Police for our normal routine and security, which is what you do. This is not like Nigeria where you'll be tear gas. I can assure you that. I can assure you that. Kò ní sí tear gassing. And we will not finish this protest and anybody will be given treason offenses like we have seen in Nigeria, that few people have been taken to the Abuja High Court and they are now charging them for treason for the End Bad Government protest. And I believe the end of the protest kò tí ṣetán. I know that they're coming out again in October 1st, but who knows what could be the end of Tinubu's government? Nobody knows, whether we all agree or not. So what I'm trying to explain is that there's a lot to support àwọn èèyàn wa nílé, that ohun wa kẹ́yìn náà wà nínú this kind of lifestyle that we're enjoying. Look, like I always say, bí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Àyùbá ní, this country is pay as you go. You'll be surprised that some of us that disconnect our mobile line as well. We have to just look for money because at no budget wa tán. And sometimes we call each other as well and say, look, can I get £100 till next week? You might not know. We do these things because most of our wages have gone on our mortgage, have gone on our insurance in the car, have gone on our travel pass for those of us that are not driving, and have gone on our house rent for those of us that are in mortgage, because only mortgage. And by the time we then look at the rest of what we have, probably sometimes it's just about £200, $200. But the yàtọ̀ kan ni pé we know that when we do another job, we get paid again. Most of it, if you're also working and getting paid in a proper way to the value of your service, could that have been 10,000? Wọ́n kàn máa pa Koiki àbò mú kan yóò ní kí ni mo máa fi 10,000 ẹ ṣe? Get out. Condition ló jẹ́ kí crayfish bend, but we can make that condition better. Ìtàṣe ń pè fún Yorùbá nation nìyẹn. The reason why we are calling for Yoruba nation is because our condition tá wà nínú ẹ̀ nísìn is a disaster. Benny, living wage. Look, I think I said my nephew the other day. Mom said me no, she must have been nephew, niece any. These are young, that are just growing into the system and they've started working. I'm sure I'm almost thinking nothing she shabby. But let them pay you the first wages just to tell them that, and later on they can also start. So obìnrin tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nílùú yìí tó jẹ́ ọmọ 16, 17 kò ní láti máa lọ ṣe ṣìnà kó tó lówó lọ́wọ́, even though the UK government is still paying them 50,000 naira equivalent every week. Bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi. Nigeria náà lè sanwó yẹn fún àwọn èèyàn wa nílé. And I'm talking about not just Yoruba people, everybody. The country has the wealth. Nigeria has the money to pay us child benefit, this benefit, housing benefit, but unfortunately, we don't have the people that have that in their hearts. So on the Saturday the 12th, we want you to arrive early. I've come out of a meeting with the committee again. They're working round the clock, and I mean it. But they still say they need your support, voluntary donation towards the rally. Not for the dinner, but for the rally. You're not paying me, apart from the one that we've done our 20,000. I've not been able to do the next one because we have £70. Afitiba Mache, a little bit less than the 20,000 copies. But if we have somebody that say Koiki, I'll top it up, get another 20,000. If otherwise, I will have to do less than 20,000. Remember, Tabatin work like the BBC Tamafide Trafalgar Square. And I'm sure you all saw the video I did on Sunday. I think what I carried is a little bit too heavy. I'm going to reduce my backpack. I felt the pain, when I got back home. But mo ti lo paracetamol that is not fake, original one. And I had a sleep, and I woke up, and I say, okay, I have the strength to come out, because people want us to be out every day. Not just myself. It's not like I am the special. People want to just hear our voice. Koiki kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀, àti rí tó sọ pé wọ́n ti release bọ̀bọ́ yẹn kíákíá, kí ló ṣe bọ̀bọ́ yẹn gangan, a lè sọ fún yín. Ó dà, kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn, níbo la bá ṣe dé, ṣé Yorùbá nation yìí máa wá sí ìmúṣẹ? Kódà wòlíì kan tí mo wò lénìí, ó ní kò ní ti wà nísìn, bọ̀ ó sì máa wá. It doesn't matter. Nítorí important ni pé we have started. Ṣé mọ̀ pé in tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀, a lè máa sọ pé ìgbà báyìí, now tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, the tendency that the country is falling apart, and they're listening to us. You might think that these are our politicians, they're not listening. They are listening. Just what Simon posted yesterday, you'll be surprised how many calls around the world are reaching our desk that we don't want to go into details. But what in terms of we want to be free, not because of anything. We just want to be free and have access to the basic things of life. Benny, they pay for paternity ìyẹn fún àwọn bàbá, because ọkùnrin náà ní right láti lọ fún paternity. Obìnrin ló máa ń pè tí wọ́n ní maternity leave, where you will go away for a couple of months. It could be 1 month, it could be 2 months, it could be 6 weeks. And while you're away looking after that newborn baby, ọmọ tuntun òjò lóhùn ẹlẹ́jà tuntun, you are welcome. Pam pam parara parara pam 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 parara parara pam pam parara parara pam 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 parara. Ẹran tí orin Sunny Adé, Yorùbá nation ọmọ tuntun ni, ó máa dé ibẹ̀, a máa dé bẹ̀, but ó máa wà painful. Kò sí inú ọmọ kíyàn tó, kódà kó tó ṣe kinní yẹn tó máa fi dọmọ, ká má go into too much details. Iṣẹ́ ni fún rẹ̀. Ó wá ṣe, ó wá sọ fún mi pé mo rí àlejò mi mọ́, ìdùnnú tí ń bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀, bọ̀ kó tó bí ọmọ yẹn, a máa lọ fún ìyàwó, kí ló máa ń lọ fún yẹn, a máa lọ fún ìwòsàn check lójoojúmọ́. Ìgbà míì ẹ̀gbẹ́, kí ló ṣẹ̀gbẹ́ yín, orí, ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ lóyún oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló máa ṣe, oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló ń ṣe wá báyìí, because a fẹ́ bímọ tuntun, which is called Yorùbá nation. And the work and the effort, even when some disagree, must not allow us to lose focus. Yesterday, as I was finishing the program, I think my sister Lady K has already used the video. They are good about doing all these short videos. I love my own straightforward conversation analysis, but I want good nípa, Long Bridge, which is in Lagos State, right? People were kidnapped yesterday in Long Bridge. The Yorubas are all trapped, just like the other indigenous people. Gbogbo wa la wà nínú problem. How do we come out of this problem is to first highlight it. Like I said, if there's a dispute, we don't run away from it. But what the politicians think that they can be doing is that, oh, we have dispute. Oh, yes, there's dispute. But what we're going to do is that we would use election to resolve the dispute. It is too late. Láti lo election, láti fi solve dispute wa. What everybody should be discussing right now is, do we want to be one? And if you don't want to be one, why? Once again, good evening and welcome. I can cite every one of you. Please share the program and thumbs up. If you're not receiving my notification, it is not my fault. It's called shadow banning, which the social media are doing on my platform, because they know the power of the media through social media as well. At exactly 1 hour to the program, which is just about 11 minutes, we will then start the topic for the day, which is our country that we want shall be a land of enterprise and plentiful jobs. So mo fẹ́ kẹ́ fi sínú comment section. What do you understand by that? Pé ìlú tá à ń dọ́lọ́n fún yìí, tẹ́yìn ìyá yẹn, ẹ̀yin bàbá, ẹ̀yin àbúrò, ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n, even our people that disagree with us. Because I can tell you that many Yoruba people that are not involved in this, they are just waiting. No? By the time tó bá gbọ́ pé country ti dé bá, inú wọn máa dùn gan-an pé àwọn ọmọ Igbo tẹ̀ ní máa yọ wá lẹ́nu. That's what they will say. But wọ́n ti gbàgbé pé kò ń ṣọmọ Igbo nìkan ló ń yọ wá lẹ́nu. The Chinese ń yọ wá lẹ́nu, the Europeans ń yọ wá lẹ́nu, the Asian ń yọ wá lẹ́nu, the Lebanese ń yọ wá lẹ́nu, and even láàrin ara wa à ń yọra wa lẹ́nu. Grandma kan tó pè mí lénìí, without going too much details, and àwọn tán mo ní sọ bí tí state yẹn jẹ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. She has not slept for like over a few days. Ilẹ̀ tí ìyàwó gbélé wọn lọ́wọ́ pé ọmọ mi mo rówó fún ẹ, but in tí mo ní tí mo lè fún ẹ òun náà nílẹ̀. Intade máa ń fẹ́ jogún jù nìyẹn láyé yìí. Maybe because she's in abroad here. Wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ tán lọ́hùn. Ṣé mo pé if we have a system of government that is working, all this land is a job fẹ́yìn èèyàn wa. Because I've told you that when I came here 25 years ago, precisely, I worked as a volunteer with Amnesty International, and all I did for 1 hour, I believe, not even up to 2 hours, and I get a little bit stipend and also my bus pass. My bus pass was 13 anything. Was just data input. They had a file and we were inputting them into the database because they were upgrading. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́ni should have been inside a database. So kò ní sẹ́ni tó máa intimidate ara wọn. So the situation that we are finding where many people own a land and those lands are now being taken away from them would not happen. That is part of plentiful jobs. So I'm asking again for those of you that are following the conversation tonight. What kind of country would you want? A country that has enterprise, a country that have plentiful of jobs. Good night.
Okay.
I love you too. Sweet dreams. You too. Bye-bye. Sweet dreams, okay? Aboromo Yinisi, or the one that 60% of the Nigerian youth today are struggling. Mo kí gbogbo yín o, mo fojú pẹ́ nìkankan rẹ o. Even if you disagree with me. I've been told on the social media that I'm the one that bring one of the most baddest news or bad news about Nigeria on a daily basis by Yoruba people, not the Biafra, and not even the Hausa. I'm told that my platform only brings the bad news. Land of enterprise, what does that mean to you? What kind of country do you want? And shout out to the Omoluabi Apparel that sent this beautiful Igboho outfit to Koikimedia as the Baba Yoruba after Baba Kitoye and Oloye Igboho. Mokiwa SDM and Moki Bubu, different organizations, even those that are not part of the YSDM that are working on their own. Mokiwa Yoruba Council of Leaders and every one of them. And everybody's invited. Whether we have reached out to you directly or not. Intoba muyin te gbọ́ pé mo sọ nínú program báyìí pé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń gbé ní United Kingdom la invite. It's not because you want to see Oloye Igboho, it's because there is something wrong on our territory. And into wrong pẹ̀lú territory yẹn, we do not want blood to spill on our land. We are worried, we are concerned, and we want to communicate that to the British government and the British citizens. And that will be on the 12th of October 2024. Throughout from yesterday till the 12th, my focus will be more on the rally and the dinner. And I will only then be talking about other areas. Look, we cannot finish talking about the problem of Nigeria. Should I give you some of the headlines today? Ekiti, farmers killed. Ogun State, my own state, the ritualist state that many people disagree with me. Koiki, shut up. Ogun State is the most ritualist state in Yoruba land. A young, let me pick the news quickly before we dive into the other discussion. Moki will go into our Twitter space. It's a full program. I got 5 mobile phone, 6 mobile phone, 2 here, 2 there, and 2 laptop. So we're on a full broadcast. Moki family me, for standing, not just the family here, the family back home as well. So let me give you some of the headline quickly as we have it. Gunmen, at least they are not Biafra, because this happened in Ekiti. Have it ever from an evidence by the gunmen and because people, when they say unknown gunmen, people always automatically say they are Biafran or all this nonsense, but they forget that we have A-Star Entertainment. It's just the alarm. Remember. A-Star Entertainment. Should I talk about my cousin a little bit? When I know you're enjoying Afrobeat in the UK today, it was just nothing serious. But you always have that in the house for emergency purpose. Let me quickly shout out to my cousin. When you're all enjoying your Afrobeat in the UK and Europe, you should go and give thanks to Amor A-Star. We want to play only Nigerian artist here in the UK. I'm talking about the high-end locations event. We should give thanks to him for contributing his quota. He tried to also help on the other side like many of us. But in Nigeria will never allow such to happen. But what they did was they cracked it here in the UK. And there was another guy that is coming out of partial stroke, known as DJ Abrante. I read a bit about him recently. He's getting better, but he almost lost his life. So Moke A-Star, banking on seat. It's been a while. Your family are here, they're always asking of you. But I've been so busy with the job and the task I'm doing right now. So thank you so much for joining. Now let's come back to some of the headline. Gunmen kidnapped 3 in Nigeria, Ekiti, killed the husband and one of the captives. This could have been the same situation with the SOS alert we told you yesterday. If there was a country, security is paramount to protect every Nigerian, but unfortunately, even Tinubu cannot protect himself. Again, terrorists, locally dubbed as bandits, killed 3, kidnapped others in Sokoto State. These are headlines from today on the Koikimedia internationalnews.com, in case they have a local. Let's go further. And a shout out to all the Koikimedia team that are working around the clock. We still need your support. so that we can do more. And like I always say, people die around the world. A US rapper, Fat Man, died in Connecticut, I believe, yesterday. 2 people lost their life. On Instagram, it's going to go up, but I'll come back after 26 seconds. We lost 2 people in the UK because of the carnival that took place over the weekend. So it's not about saying, oh, people die in Nigeria. It's like people don't die abroad. But the death in Nigeria are deliberate deaths. Deaths that could have been avoided since we don't have a government that is ready. So we're going to go straight into our discussion for the week 16. Let's kickstart the Instagram back. Share the program, please. Invite others to join me, and let us now talk about future enterprise and how we expect that to happen when we have a country that works. And probably there'll be less crime. Not that there will be no crime, because criminal will always still be criminal even if you have a country that works. But we don't want you to be a criminal when things can be done. So we're going to read this now as we've done in the past, as Baba Kitoye has requested. Share the program, please. But before I go into that, let me first give us something that came through my WhatsApp that I believe I should share with us, which is got to do with job opportunity and innovation and such and such. So I'm going to pick this from because since we're going to talk about, so renew calls for the UK industrial strategy to bring investment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share this link to my Facebook so that I can then be able to use it from here. So please share the program. So I might read that first, then we can then start reviewing what Baba Kitoye said in this very small document. The chances that Nigeria will grow is not going to happen. So if many of you are expecting that there will be growth in Nigeria, there will never be growth. Okay, our grandmother, Princess Awoniyi, is just saying, my husband is just telling me that the story about the Ekiti killing, the man just retired. This is another update. So people that are close to this family are telling me that story to Mosofin Lenkon. It's not a story, it's what happened. So maybe we should read it since we are getting, some kind of update from a family or people that knows, this particular man is a retired man. So let's read it through. And if you see my account details coming through the screen, I'm always the one that requests that they help me to push it in, so that maybe some of you Koikimedia to need you can always chip in, and we love and appreciate every single one of you towards your contribution. And always remember, it is voluntary. Gunmen kidnapped 3 people in Ekiti State in Nigeria, killed the husband of one of the captives. Update is now telling me that that man that we are saying the husband have just retired. So let's go into it. This happened on Saturday, but as usual, like I always say, news tend to be delayed in Nigeria. So let me give an example. If something happened in Lagos, it might even take 48 hours if the news is not a very strong news for it to filter out. But news, even if it's filtered out, the mainstream media might not pick it as well. So the good thing is that, okay, do you know that the kidnap that took place at Long Bridge yesterday is seen in the news, rather? Apart from, I saw it that Lady K has talked about it, I'm talking about it here as well. No more sound. Nobody could see sound. Is that on the TikTok? Sorry, I said TikTok. Instagram? Bialato doing no more sound. It could be your device. Facebook. Okay, Facebook Koikimedia. Ta ló tún wà nínú Facebook yẹn? Mr. Saliu Babatunde, if you're still with us, can you hear me? All right, it could be just a network glitch. So, mo kí gbogbo ọlẹ́ǹkan sí i. So, arákùnrin tí a fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, this happened on Saturday. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Gunmen on Saturday abducted 3 travelers in Imure, Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria. According to the security sources told a local newspaper on Sunday, the attackers also killed a man identified as Mr. Taiwo Oluwole, the husband of one of the captives. So what ti gbé àwọn èèyàn lọ, wọ́n tún pa ọkọ. So by the time tá bá tẹ̀ rí àwọn yẹn gbà, and that is why I said to you again, and I'd like to say shout out to the government of the Biafra for taking our urgent SOS to save a Yoruba man. That's all I can tell you. We wish that the same Nigerian government can do the same thing in Ekiti to protect the lives of those that have been kidnapped. Yeah, the YouTube is okay, it's just the Facebook, but it's back. So, the incident happened about 5:30 p.m. on Saturday at Oyimo River along Emure, Ekporo Road in Emure. It might be known if my pronunciation is not as smooth as you might want it. Àti fi jẹ́ KFC àti burger ni, so kò jẹ́ kí Yorùbá yẹn. We will have to go back to school and study Yoruba in the near future. But for now, please, ó dà pé Binance guy yẹn kọ́ ló ń pariwo ní court báyìí. Ó ń fara ya. Ó ti mọ̀ kankan. Nigeria tó wà lawless. So, some pupils of Apostolic Faith Children's School were kidnapped at the same spot in January. So that means is a deadly spot. And you know what happened? Most of these attacks happen in where there is potholes that the car have to slow down, because ẹni tó pè mí láti Long Bridge, they were still at the Long Bridge when they called me yesterday after they produced the video that Mr. Koiki bá ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí wọ́n ti ṣàyàn driver yẹn wọ́n ti ṣá, because the driver, I think the petrol in the vehicle ran out, and àwọn tó kù wọ́n ti kó wọn wọnú gbó lọ. Long Bridge is in Lagos State, right? Between Lagos and I believe that axis. Ẹni yẹn wá jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ pé he was almost going to be kidnapped as well, going to Ijebu, because ó dárúkọ area yẹn, but around Ijebu whatever. So the insecurity continue because Tinubu has lost plot and the center has failed. So if this happened in January, which is just about some few months back, Kilodeti will find solution. And that's why I'm asking, where are the governors putting the 700 million naira being collected for security budget? It's a lot of money. So when people say, Yoruba people, okay. So one Mrs. Atinuke, the wife of a retired Albert Adenike, was also kidnapped on July 13 this year in the same area. So the same area the same spot, we are getting multiple kidnapped. Tó bá jẹ́ ìlú tó fi ṣiṣẹ́, let me just ask, okay, Bishop Adesina sọ pé Long Bridge is between Ojodo Berger, Lagos border between Ogun State on Ibadan Expressway. And I'm told that is not the first one. Àná ṣì ní mo ṣe ń sọ yìí o. Àná wọ́n ti kidnap àwọn kan ní Long Bridge yẹn lánàá. Mọ́tò yẹn wọ́n ti páàkì síbẹ̀. Wọ́n ní dírẹ́fà yẹn wọ́n ti ṣá yẹn gbogbo aṣọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ti bò. Wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ mú dání ó kàn sá lọ ni. Àwọn tó kù wọ́n ti kó wọn wọnú gbó lọ. So anytime sọ pé nothing is happening, èmi náà sọ pé nothing is happening, everything is fine. Mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí. Now, so between January, July, August, same spot. If truly we have a government in Yoruba land under the Nigeria system, kí lẹ rò pé ẹ kọ́ ṣe? Same spot since January. You review that area, you put more security within that area. You station, even if it's armor tank, you will station it there. When Toba be that, but because our governors, when they travel, they go with heavy security and they are not affected. Our elite, when they travel, they go with heavy security, they are not affected. So I want to know who are affected, and me and you, the ordinary citizens. And when people now say, oh, because we are doing Yoruba Nation, we should go and be running after them and asking, how are you going to do that? We're looking. However, Oluwole and his wife were said to be returning to Akure, Ondo State, after attending a family event in Emure, when their vehicle, a Toyota Camry, was ambushed. 2018, ẹrántí ìyá tí mo ní ohun àtàwọn ọmọ wa láti America àti bàbá wọn àtọkọ wọn. And the woman said it is the denial that she got a little bit confused, that it's like everybody is denying that the security threat is not a problem. This is the reason why Igboho popped up, and this is the reason why they wanted to kill him, and this is the reason why we need to come out ká celebrate Igboho. Ṣẹ̀rí pé gbogbo ń work. Ẹ bá lè wá fún dinner. We pray many of you can attend the dinner. Like I said, there's still ample of tickets. So tó bá pẹ́ bí àwọn pa ṣé ticket ṣì wà? Yes, tickets ṣì wà at £100. Get in touch with any of the media. Even they will reach out to us if you can't get hold of me. But so far, from my side, we've sold about over 20. So we need more of you that can buy. But if otherwise, let's join on the rally day. This is why Igboho say, you are killing my people. Kill àwọn èèyàn mi ṣe. Oluwole was hit by the bullet, and his wife, along with 2 other occupants of the car, was subsequently kidnapped. The Punch report citing the source. Taiwo Oluwole was killed while his wife and 2 others were taken into captivity inside the bush. What a powerful. They are not living in Ekiti. And their life is gone like that. Because we blame God for everything in Nigeria. We blame God for what we shouldn't be blaming God for, because God is not stupid like us. God gave us the intelligence. God gave us, okay, you have the wealth. Put the intelligence, the innovation to prevent such. Since January this year, same spot, somebody lost their life, 2 people have been kidnapped. So as the wife is being kidnapped, I'm sure she saw the death of the husband. Because the worst thing is order to kidnap her. You can imagine what the woman is. Number one, she can't do anything. And I don't even want to talk about how they started, or they might, or they would have raped her. Because these are animals. Imagine that. Etipoko, etu rape yawo. So ẹ̀yin Yorùbá, kí la wá ṣe fẹ́yìn nísìn? What is our own offense? Because sometimes I tend to ask myself, ṣé offence ni pé à ń sọ pé ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà? kí ló offence tàwa àti bàbá Akíntóyè àti gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá against ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá? kí ló offence tàwa against ẹ̀yin? ok òun fi Yorùbá nation pọ̀wọ́, ok ìyẹn lọ offence yẹn àbí? òun fi Yorùbá nation àti orúkọ Ìgbòho òun bá orúkọ Ìgbòho jẹ́, ok ìyẹn lọ offence yẹn. èyí tó jẹ́ pàtàkì ọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n ń pààyàn wa, èmi kí terrorist kó tó pa mí nínú ìlú yìí, á jẹ́ pé MI5 to fail just like they did in 2006. I am not saying they cannot, but the chances are still very slim. Or mo wá lọ lórí M25, mo lọ lórí A10, mo lọ lórí A12, mo fẹ́ lọ kí brother mi Ayuba ní Woolwich bí ṣe wá jáde nínú Blackwater ní ẹ̀bá ẹ̀ wọ́n kọ́ pàkàpàkàpàkàpàkà ó yà park there. ọwọ́ ají mi gbé, ìyàwó mi wá ní wọ́n máa ti jí Koikimedia gbé, a máa ní the £20,000. ṣe fi ìpò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣá? So ṣé intẹ́mi ṣe nísìn nǹkan tó wrong là ń ṣe ni? I'm just asking because I'm lost, especially fún ẹ̀yin diaspora tẹ́ ń sọ pé kò sí nǹkankan. ṣé títúgbọ́ ilé ìpò ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ni? à ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ ti bàbá Akíntóyè, ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa security because it is one of the reasons why tó ṣe fẹ́ pa bàbá yìí. ṣé wàá mọ̀ pé láti ìgbà tá a ti ṣe security summit pẹ̀lú bàbá wa kábíyèsí Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀, mo júbà bàbá o, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́n kankan mọ́ bàbá kábíyèsí, gbogbo ẹ̀ tútù ó tutù fún wa ní go ahead, ààrí communicate kankan mọ́, gbogbo ẹ̀ kọ́ tutù. àbí bá Gani Adams ló ní kẹ́ má jẹ́ kí Ìgbòho lọ sínú igbó kó lé gbogbo àwọn olóṣì yẹn lọ ni, ìkọ̀ àwọn mọ̀ pé bá wà lórí ìjókòó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ara ń ta níjọ́ yẹn. we saw a body language bá níjọ́ yẹn kò dá rárá. mo ń gbọ́ tí masbin sọ pé wọ́n ní bá ṣe 35 years OPC gọ́vnà kankan attend. so ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá kí làwọn kí ló fẹ́ǹsì ẹ̀mí àti Ìgbòho nísìn? ṣé mi àti Ìgbòho la kidnap bàbá yìí? ṣé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation ló kidnap wọn? kò ń ṣe pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation tó bá jalè àní sọ fún ẹ̀yin o, but so far àti gbọ́ pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation ló lọ jí àwọn tí wọ́n pa ọkọ ẹ̀. kí ló wá dé tí ara ò kí ń tẹ̀ ẹ̀yin? ó ṣe jẹ́ àwa nìkan lára ń ta àti Ìgbòho. pé màá ti bàbá ti sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nìí mo tẹ I lost plot ní communication èmi àti wọn lẹ́nìí, security wà lára ẹ̀ because I have to give him some reports and some other things that is not for the public consumption. mo dẹ̀ kí àwọn ìyàwó wọn mo wọ́kọ̀ àdúró tí bàbá wọn ọkọ wọn torí kò easy. ẹrù tó wà lórí Ìgbòho kó tó wá tó dé pẹ̀lú family issue, àkáǹtì ní Tinubu ti pa kò jẹ́ ká rówó gbà. irú dẹ̀dẹ̀ ní pé mọ̀ ìmọ̀ bàbá mi ó yá ẹ̀fẹ́ mi náà ní kankan, owó wà lákàǹtì tó ń ná. àwọn onírọ́ ó ti gba owó yọ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation, ó ti ṣe kinní kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ti gbàgbé pé ó ní business tiẹ̀. so now ṣé ẹ fẹ́ kí wọ́n sọ Ìgbòho dolóṣì ni? ṣèbí àdúrà tá a máa ń gbà ní pé ẹni tó bá ti gùnkè kọ́ lọ́ọ́ máa yẹ kó já wálẹ̀. so àdúrà tẹ̀yìn ń gbà ní sí ni pé Ìgbòho tó gùnkè kó já wálẹ̀ látara pé ó ń béèrè pé kí ni àwọn èèyàn ń ṣe, why are you killing my people? kí ló ṣe fún yín? Is that not the reason why Igboho is out? àwọn èèyàn mi ò sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. kí ni offence Igboho? ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook Koikimedia Odùduwà ẹ̀ ní gbọ́ fídíò tí mo fi play torí bó ṣe wà routed but àwọn tó kù máa gbọ́.
orúkọ mi ni Sunday Adéyẹmọ tí gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ̀ sí Sunday Igboho. ọmọ pé tẹ̀ bá jọ ọmọ Ìbàdàn tó bá ń gbé kó àwọn pè ní bàbá Ìbàdàn, wọ́n lè mọ̀ pé ẹ̀rí náà pè ní Ìbàdàn. so ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yẹn tó bá ń gbé lóde kejì tó bá jọ ọmọ bòmí ó kọ ìlú tó ti wá yẹn náà máa fi pè é níbi tó ń gbé. èmi náà jẹ́ kan náà tó kópa nínú ogun Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ àti Ifẹ̀. so ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó bá gbọ́ sórí ogun yẹn tó ń gbọ́ gbogbo pàdé mo kó mẹ́wẹ́ ọkùnrin mẹ́rin ogun bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn gbá ogun ó sì wáyé ó máa ń jẹ́ kí ẹ̀rọ ìwé ọkùnrin gbogbo wàhálà.
You have the right to your comment. Now you underscore mess. You say Peter Pan. Nigeria cannot break Jare. Tinubu needs time to fix Nigeria. Tinubu will take Nigeria to the promised land. And I agree with you. I won't disagree. What happened after Tinubu leaves the office? Would the next government keep the same thing that Tinubu has done? Because you got to start thinking. Eye máa ronú bí ẹni tí kò ní làákàyè. Because Tinubu is not going to be there forever. He's only there for a limited period of time. Okay, he fixed Nigeria. That is even if Nigeria is fixable. Because I don't know whether you are in Nigeria or you are one of the diasporans that sit in your comfort zone and say Tinubu will fix Nigeria. But you have not, I don't know, I'm just saying. So regardless of the two, so to you, Tinubu will fix Nigeria. So what happened after Tinubu bá parí ìjọba? So this question ni gbogbo yín fi dá wa lóhùn. But like I said, you have the right to your own your own comment. Muri brother me, I seen TV. And thank you so much for the great work you're doing back home. I wish I have enough. Kí n kò gbé fún yín pé 1 million ní kẹ́ lọ máa fi operate. Wọ́n á your support.
ládọjà àtàwọn bàbá dédé búmbàdàn náà gbogbo àwọn tí wàhálà yẹn sojú wọn fẹ́ ìpìtì ládọjà wọ́n fẹ́ yẹ ládọjà ń pò wọ́n fẹ́ gbàjọba lọ wọ́n fẹ́ yẹ ládọjà jẹ nǹkankan tèmi dẹ̀ dúró tì ń gbà yẹn gbogbo àwọn tó nípa tí mo kó láti pé kán mọ́ rí ládọjà yẹn jẹ́ ń gbà yẹn sùkẹ́ lómi bá rí mi ò rí wọn pé ọkùnrin mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n nìyẹn bí wọ́n ṣe bọ́tà ṣe pọ̀ tó Ọlọ́run ṣẹ́gun wọn fún èròǹgbà mi lórí ìgbésẹ̀ àwọn Fúlàní.
Kó tó dé èròǹgbà wọn ó ní bí ọ̀tá ṣe pọ̀ tó ọ̀tá pọ̀ and you can see their body language, especially the body language of Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò on the day of the security summit. Èyí tó máa fi ní Ìgbòho ó dáa kí gbogbo akájọ sowọ́ papọ̀ ká lé àwọn Fúlàní. Imagine is telling Kábíyèsí pé nígbà tó pe Ìgbòho bákan ló ṣe pe Ìgbòho bákan ló ṣe kí Ìgbòho báwo kí òun bọ́ ṣe kí Ìgbòho ó ń ṣe lára. Instead of us to join hands kí gbogbo àwọn inú igbó ká lè stop ikú tó ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa because àkókò tí Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò ti wá òun ni àwọn fámìlì yìí tí wọ́n náà ti ń lọ padà sí Oǹdó tó bá tẹ̀ ń ṣàkókò. ICTV bàbá mi Bashiru bàbá yẹn tó bá mú wọn comment only message of a person. Only is that we are too wide in the environment that we are supposed to be full. Ẹ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà yẹn kò mọ̀ tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. Ẹ máa bá argue lórí comment section. So now olóyè fi gbẹ́nu wọ èròǹgbà àwọn lórí ìgbésẹ̀ àwọn Fúlàní yẹn ni pé ẹnu Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ kò. We need Ìbà to be on the ground to work. But nígbà tí bàbá ní òun ò fi bá Ìgbòho ṣe kí Ìgbòho máa lọ ṣe tiẹ̀ káwa náà máa ṣe tiwa. That is one of what Alhaji Bashir is always concerned about. Why are we so divided, people? Kí ló dé tí a lè come in one uniform and push bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ security nìkan. Bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ lórí security nìkan. It would have been so nice. But it's because some of our people have a different agenda. Agenda oríṣiríṣi lólúkálukú ni o. Ẹ̀yin kọ́ lè máa sọ pé Koiki bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lájẹ̀ndà. Bí àwọn náà fi jẹ́ nǹkankan bí àwọn náà lé nǹkankan ló ṣe ń ṣe gbogbo wàhálà tó ń ṣe jọ àbí. But one thing is that why is it proving difficult for our governors who are to join force and make one need láti pè Ìgbòho kọ́tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ibà náà àbí kọ́tẹ̀ ní ká má máa ní ibà Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò náà ló máa engage wọ́n ní láti fún wọn ní security pipeline kọ́ fún wọn ní owó kọ́ fi bá wa flush gbogbo àwọn Fúlàní tó ń pa wá yẹn so that kí Ìgbòho tẹ̀ máa wà lẹ́yìn kó máa jókòó kó má ṣe nǹkan kan. kò ní yọ yín lẹ́nu mọ́ ẹ má wọrí àbí bóyá mi ni mo kàn ń rò bẹ́ẹ̀. Let our governors, the present Yoruba state, support Iba. You need to use my Iba yẹn. Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò to use his OPC with Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, with the farmers hunters, and flush these people out so that people can go back to the farm, because we are still in Nigeria as we stand right now, but we are hoping that we push out of Nigeria, but we first need the security. But ẹ fẹ́ kí Yorùbá nation àwọn wo ló máa wọnú igbó lọ máa lé Fúlàní nígbà tí Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò ní over how many thousands of àwọn ọmọ OPC, even as OPC is divided into different factions. Look, I will be happy that if that is even the job tó bá wa gbé fún Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò nísìn, he doesn't need to go to the bush. A mọ̀ pé bàbá òfin jẹ́ káṣọ wọn kó dọ̀tí bọ̀wọ́ láwọn eruku tó train dáadáa tí mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé wọ́n ń gbọ́ràn èyí tí wọ́n fi ń bára wọn jà tá a máa ń gbọ́ OPC ń bá kínní ó ṣe yára àlùlẹ̀ máa ń threaten àwa Yorùbá sí Yorùbá wọ́n ti ní tíyàn bá lè lẹ̀ dé mọ́ níyàn máa threaten. Ìgbà tó lóye ń ṣe fídíò yìí mo rò pé mi gan ti lọ́lé pẹ̀lú BBC kọ́ mo rò pé mo ti dé Nàìjíríà ní 2021. Ok, ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ gbé Yorùbá nation sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan for now, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ICTV brother mi ẹ gbọ́ bíbá ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ gbé Yorùbá because ti gba country ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ bó ṣe kò jẹ́ ká dáàbò bo àwọn èèyàn wa ni. Èèyàn kan wà ní Finland ó fi òun lẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá tó ní tí a ní go to bódà bẹ́ẹ̀ pè mí gọ́mọ̀ ní sọ fún yín but kò pé 12 hours wọ́n mà ti fi sílẹ̀. Ṣé ibà náà lè ṣé wọ́n lè dẹ́rù bà wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wàá nu gbó yẹn etí yín mélòó tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá fi ìyàwó arákùnrin tẹ́ gbé ní Èkìtì yẹn sílẹ̀ àárín yẹn àwa wà ní solution pé àwa wà ní situation pé àwa máa jókòó sórí live by tèmi bá ṣe analysis tán ICTV àṣẹ lọ́la brother mi pavilion àwọn yẹn tẹ wà lọ́nà gbogbo òkè ògùn wọ́n pa wọ́n ṣeré níbẹ̀ yẹn ni ọ̀nà ló ní ká nírú àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀ tó ń bá wa report a ní staff wa kan náà níbẹ̀ àròwó fún ni ẹ̀rí pọ́ṣà máa ń ṣe àwọn service kéékèèké kan network kò dá bọ̀gbà táwọn ní fóònù gidi bí àṣà ICTV ẹ máa ní ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe live 24/7 bí àwọn ẹ̀yà kejì wa it's not about ká máa ṣe live 24/7 àní kàtẹ́ kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ààbò lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ààbò security. The governors have the money is with them every month lọ́nà gba 700 million. I don't know how true that is but tó o bá tẹ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn ọlọ́dẹ wà tó lè ṣọ́ ibodè ìlú. Then kí ni kábíyèsí kí làwọn kábíyèsí ń ṣe lórí ọ̀rọ̀ security láti gbogbo state kọ̀ọ̀kan níbi táwọn kábíyèsí orí adé wà? Ṣé bí wọ́n ṣe máa wò tí gbogbo wa tó máa mú wa ní méjì mẹ́ta ẹni tó rìtáyà àìmọye àwọn tó ti rìtáyà náà ni màmá tèmi náà tó dẹ̀ rọra ń ṣe kíni ní kẹ̀lẹ́ńgẹ́gẹ́ tíjọba dẹ̀ rọra ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ òun náà ń ṣe kíni òun náà ń tọ́jú aráalé ó dẹ̀ ń tọ́jú Yorùbá nation torí òun náà ná sínú Yorùbá nation. The same thing pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá wa kọ̀ọ̀kan náà ẹ̀yin girama kọ̀ọ̀kan kí ló wá dé tẹ́ni tó rìtáyà ní Nàìjíríà tó kọ̀ lọ bá wọn ṣayẹyẹ lẹ́kìtì tó dẹ̀ di pé kọ́ padà sí state wọn ó dẹ̀ ti di wàhálà. And we are told that the same spot this problem is happening since January. Adesọpá ní gọ́vnọ̀ lẹ́kìtì Adesọpá ní gọ́vnọ̀ ní Ondo àtẹ̀sọ́pá Akérédolú tẹ̀ gbìyànjú díẹ̀. So for me, we have lost the plot. And when I say we have lost the plot, bóyá torí pé a tètè cross check wọn, bóyá torí pé àwọn kan náà fẹ́ jẹ láàrin wọn, it might not be every one of us. Yesterday, wọ́n jẹ́ kó yé mi pé àwọn ọmọ ọ̀tá tó ti kó síta nísìn wọ́n bí anybody dá kó gbé ohùn sáta against Tinubu ní Lagos State. Intelligent wà lórí desk mi lánàá pé àwọn ọmọ ọ̀tá tó kó sí junction kọ̀ọ̀kan àwọn tó wà ní Lagos State wà lè kàn. I'm not talking about any other state. Lagos ni mo ń sọ yìí o. Tó bá I'm not talking pé wá ṣe Yorùbá nation ni mo ń sọ pé tó bá gbé ohùn kankan tó ju kíní kan wá ṣe léṣe ẹ̀wọ̀n tó sàn ọmọ wa di. Àwọn orú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn a ṣe kókó ká kó gìtá lé wọn lọ́wọ́ ká train wọn àbí ká dẹ̀ gbé wọn wọnú igbó kọ́ lọ́ máa bá wa di. Ó ṣe járàlú lẹ́yìn. Why are you intimidating the people? So that the people will be shut down? Why tó jẹ́ pé we are intimidating the people? Kí làwọn èèyàn wá ṣe? Why is this intimidation going on? And how do we stop it? Because the first priority of the government around the world is security. Are we too wise? Okay, Iba is asking for pipeline security. Don't give him pipeline security. Give him security to go after the criminals. We don't even want him to support Yoruba nation. Whether he's a Yoruba man, whether he's a Igunu man, whether he's a whatever the people call him, I am not interested in that. What I'm asking is that let him go with all his security. All he needs to do is just give direction. Because the longer that we are having issues with security, the more threat. And that's why people are saying, okay, what is our government doing? Our job is to talk. Our job is to checkmate them. So let's go back and listen to èròǹgbà òun lórí àwọn Fúlàní. This is Igboho telling us his own take. Èròǹgbà kí ló ń pè ní èròǹgbà? My own opinion and view.
ẹnu Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ kù tí wọ́n bá mọ̀ fún wọn fẹ́ ká bá Fúlàní jà káwọn bàbá wa gbogbo àwọn ọba wa gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa wọ́n ṣáájú.
Let our fathers lead. Káwọn bàbá wa kọ́ ṣe kí ni kọ́ ṣáájú. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Tó bá ṣíwájú á tẹ̀lé wọn. Èmi gan máa bọ̀ ń lè. Kí ìbọn náà àwọn bá náà máa ń jà. Tó máa dira táwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ máa tẹ̀lé wọn ká wọnú igbó ká lọ fèsì àwọn ibà àṣà olóyè mélòó làwọn tó ń dún mọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa yìí. Ẹ má bínú pé we have not touched, and this is part of anyway the job creation, because if we have, can you make for me as well please? Yeah. The more security that we have is never enough. Kódà security team àwọn ààrẹ Gani Adams kò ní láti jẹ́ the same thing pẹ̀lú ti olóyè, because America has numbers of security for different reasons and different roles. Ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún America tó yẹ pé àwọn èèyàn sí nínú record. Gbogbo yín ló yẹ yín kan tí mo mean by that. You don't know them. Àwọn tẹ máa rí làwọn tó kàn máa sọ pé general this general that wọ́n ní àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn iṣẹ́ ibi kan fún wọn. Kí ló dé? So at the end of the day, all I'm trying to explain is that in as much as we don't have the country yet, do we then allow our country to be let loose by criminals, terrorists? I'm asking a question. Oh, because we don't have Yoruba nation now, so we must not talk about. And that's also something that people also attack Ogbeni Bobby, the Yoruba nation. But the reason why we are always talking about that is because we want to cross-check our governors that they are doing the needful. They have the money. We don't have the kind of the governors can also, and this is why we sometimes are we sure Tinubu is the one in charge? Because if Tinubu is in charge, from what we are told, he has extended the tenure of Egbetokun, the IGP. Let them put much effort to the security of every part of Nigeria. And you're not going to get a state police. And all these are questions that I said. There is a dispute in the land. How do we resolve the dispute? It is good that we sit in this light broadcast. But kí ló dé tí gbogbo àwọn elders Yorùbá tí wọ́n fi jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ in one direction? Why is it that they want to talk about, àwa máa lọ ṣe regional, ẹ̀yin máa pariwo Yorùbá nation, àwa máa ṣe APC, when we are all trapped in this union? I think it is time that maybe, I don't know, there should be a Yoruba conference that brings every Yoruba together and start asking questions so that we know who is who. Maybe. Because, Sherry, for me, I am not worried about the crisis that is going to erupt. Because I know that the crisis that will erupt is not going to be from all these ones that are saying they are doing protests. That crisis will be from the indigenous people that wants to go. Àwọn gangan create a crisis here. Àwọn gangan ni wọ́n máa create a crisis. And without crisis, we're going nowhere. A gbọ́dọ̀ make crisis, whatever that crisis means to you. But do we truly want to go? I was watching my brother ICTV this afternoon. Sometimes mo wo program mẹ́ta together, mo wo show ẹ̀kọ́ rí bẹ́ẹ̀, mo wá ìsìn, máa ń gbé fóònù báyìí, mo wonder bá mo ṣe ń gbọ́ gbogbo wọn. But what everybody understands is that we can continue to talk like this for the next 10 years. Anigba Yoruba Nation. It is just good. Some people use it as a therapy. Koiki. Yoruba no mi ṣe ń ṣe. Intent ja fún yín kò ní bọ́ọ̀sì. Wọ́n ní fún yín. Torí pé kò tí dé ojú kókó. But a ní láti ṣe máa threaten ara wa lórí social media. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ pé àwọn Britain nígbà tó wá wọ́n terrorize wa. Wọ́n dẹ̀ make sure pé wọ́n terrorize wa dáadáa. Àmọ́ rò pé mi nìkan ni máa ń wo program mẹ́ta together. Mẹ́ta mo máa tàn máa wo ilé. Màá kọ́ wá reviews wọn díẹ̀díẹ̀. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́n tó lóye sọ lẹ́ǹkan sí.
Kò wá sí mítì kan dẹ̀ fún ẹ pé tó àwọn ọmọ yìí o kí lóyún tó sì gbé kí gbogbo ayé rí pé tó àwọn ni wọ́n sọ pé tó ká kojú wọn gbogbo ibi tí yàrá ti fẹ́ gbé Yorùbá káfíńsì rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run mọ̀mọ́ mú wa.
Gbogbo ibi tí yàrá ti fẹ́ jẹ Yorùbá ẹ wá ní ká má ní alliance ṣé mọ̀ pé ọmọ Yorùbá yẹn ọba ti pa. He would have been dead just like, which is not the right word to do. Pé kí n kàn sọ pé just like bó ṣe pa bàbá oníbàbá. Kódà táwa kan bá secure àtẹ̀yìntẹ̀ wà nílé náà tẹ́ bá secure kò ń ṣe gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló wà secure. Ẹ má wò tàwa. Koiki ìwọ ló wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ìwọ tó máa búyàn ẹ má wò tàwa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wo ti ìran wa tó wà nù danger. Àwọn kan lẹ́nu yóò lè kó gbogbo yín wo but irọ́ ni. It's because everybody wants something. Àwọn kan dẹ̀ fẹ́ wọ́n fẹ́ kankan that will not favour ìran Yorùbá. And that is why we need everything now. We have to push. And we got to push fast. Because countdown ní Tinubu wà ó àmọ́ jókà táwọn náà fi fún Tinubu Tinubu gan tí mo jókà tó fi fún òun mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé òun náà Jagaban ni.
agbára mélòó wà láwọn Fúlàní wà ní wọn ò tó tó ń pera wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fún yìí wọn ò tó tó ń pera wọn ọlọ́ọ̀bá ló máa rí gbọ́ ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá ní nǹkan tí àwa náà ní lọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàtà jogún àwọn bàbá kábẹ̀rẹ̀ sí lò ní kábọ́ta wọ́n sọ wá lóko ní.
orúkọ rẹ̀ lọ sọ Ìgbòho lóòótọ́ bàbá yìí ó try gan how he has survived it I don't know akọ̀mọ̀ rẹ̀ lómi níjọ́ Sunday picture bàbá yẹn wà lórí fóònù mi bọ́mọ ní fún wọn ìlà bíi olóyè lòun náà kọ ó náà tẹ pàdé mi ní 2021 I think I said it yesterday òun lórí mi pé Koikimedia èèyàn mélòó ní àfihàn bọ́n mi pọ̀ wá máa ti gbọ́ tí mo lè rí mọ́ ọ̀tẹ́ nílà sọ fún yàn kọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ni tó bá rí Ìgbòho nísìnyí ò lè mọ̀ pé ṣé o máa sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni because ibo ló máa fi lẹ̀ sí ṣé o máa wọ máàsì ni bí bọ̀bọ̀ tán ni wọ́n ti transfer lọ sí Galatasaray ara racism nìyẹn tí wọ́n jẹ́ kó lọ sí club tó fẹ́ lọ gangan kọ́lọ́n kó ṣàánú ogun wa ló bá ní ní bá pe bàbá lórí fídíò call olóyè náà ṣe rí báyìí ó náà olóyè náà mọ̀ dáadáa kò sorúkọ tó ọ̀pọ̀ olóyè tán látara pé ó fi stop this crisis of insecurity because àwọn àgbẹ̀ ò lè lọ sóko sí ó dáhùn pé àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ ń rò pé kí a bá ní àwọn àgbẹ̀ ò lè lọ sóko àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí o àgbẹ̀ ò lè lọ sóko tẹ bá rí fídíò tí mo post sweet potato táwọn ọmọ wa takọ̀ ní kọ́ra máa ṣe lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́gbẹ́ nínú ilé wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ó send fídíò yẹn sí mi mo ti post ẹ̀ ti rí sweet potato inú ọgbà kékeré kan nìyẹn ẹ wá imagine tó bá yẹ pé àwọn farm wa ta máa ń ní gùngàn yẹn ká wá fi ṣe sweet potato ṣe mọ tí sweet potato mo máa ṣe fún wa ni it does a lot of work ó dẹ̀ wà very very good as well but right now tó bá wá ṣe sweet potato yẹn tán àwọn kan kọ́ kó màálù wọlé bọ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ màálù yẹn ẹja gbọ́n tó lè sọ lọ́mọ bọ̀.
káwọn bàbá bá mọ̀ pé yà ń jẹ àwọn Yorùbá kan pe gbogbo wa sí mítìn kan pe ẹ̀mí kan pa Aláàfin kan pa àwọn bàbá Àwùjalẹ̀ gbogbo.
bàbá Aláàfin ó ṣì wà láyé nígbà tó lóye ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kẹ́ lè mọ̀ pé kò ń ṣe fídíò tó ṣe ẹ̀ ní o over 3 years ago Aláàfin ti wàjà nísìn torí ọbọ̀ kì í kú. So what went wrong after tí Ọọ̀ni òrìṣà tó pe security meeting because expectation tàwa ni pé bí a bàbá máa ní olóyè ọ̀dà tí ibà bàbá fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bí a ká pín sọ́nà méjì ìwọ mú láti Kwara débìbà kí Gani Adams kóun náà mú láti bí at least maybe that way bí a torí pé Ọọ̀ni rẹ̀ even though it shouldn't be like that àbí Tinubu ló pe Ọọ̀ni ni pé ẹ̀ ń pe Ìgbòho ẹ mọ position tí mo wà nísìnyí kábíyèsí because mo mọ bí Tinubu ṣe máa bá kábíyèsí sọ̀rọ̀ bá ẹ má kí n lo èdè tí mo fẹ́ lò ẹ jẹ́ ara dá padà sínú tó bá ń bá kábíyèsí sọ̀rọ̀ tọ́ọ̀sì ní public ní mo mọ bó ṣe máa bá kábíyèsí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin náà mọ̀ àbí kò ní fún ní respect náà ní fún kábíyèsí ní respect àbí nígbà tí Tinubu gbọ́ pé Ọọ̀ni pé Ìgbòho sí meeting òun dẹ̀ lòun jẹ́ president àbí wọ́n kọ̀nsọ́ọ̀tì Tinubu ni ṣé kábíyèsí ò kọ̀nsọ́ọ̀tì Tinubu kó tó ṣe ìpàdé yẹn ni because àgbọ̀n kankan mọ́ mo lè mọ̀ pé Ọọ̀ni fẹ́ gbègbèsẹ̀ but àwọn kan tó tún tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ èmi mọ̀ lọ́kàn ra mi pé Ọọ̀ni wọ́n máa fẹ́ gbègbèsẹ̀ but àwọn kan tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ ta ló ń tẹ bọ́tì yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ ṣé King Charles láti UK ló ń tẹ mọ́lẹ̀ ni who is behind it tó bá ti di 2 hours I ma go through in time so because a ti fi 1 hour fi sọ̀rọ̀ nípa security and maybe we'll open the phone line we see. Ta ló pe Ọọ̀ni pé kábíyèsí ẹ má involve Ìgbòho rárá. Ọ̀ní náà mọ̀ pé wọ́n ń jí wa gbé gbogbo ilé Ifẹ̀ náà kò síbi kankan tó àmì àkó ń ṣe pé gbogbo ẹ̀ náà kọ́ ló ní kò safe but majority of the Yoruba land today is not safe.
ọba yẹn tó bá jókòó kọ́ á pè wá kọ́ ní báyìí gbogbo wa ọlọ́run bá lágbára ẹ̀mí o tó nǹkan kan àwọn tó tún lágbára dúró wá pọ̀ lọ pọ̀ tó pọ̀.
ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tó ní agbára tó ju tiẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀ ó dẹ̀ ní òun lágbára ọlọ́run ló lágbára. ṣé wàá mọ̀ pé voice olóyè yìí therapy ni kí ni mo pè therapy ṣé mọ̀ pé gbogbo eléyìí tèmi ṣe nísìn ẹ tó bá ti wọlé akọ̀jáde ni ẹ jẹ́ kó lóye pè mí láàárọ̀ la pé lọ release press statement tí kódà bó jẹ́ 10 minutes má fi ṣe press statement yẹn bí bá ṣe ń parí ẹ̀ báyìí gbogbo Nàìjíríà máa mì ní for now lè ní pókè ilé tí ẹ ló ń sọ nísìn ó kàn forúkọ lóye ìpawó lórí social media because báwọn kan ṣe ń rí nìyẹn pàkàn forúkọ lóye ìpawó lórí social mo dẹ̀ ní tí dádì ẹ̀ náà bá wà òkè tó ní àyà bí olóyè ṣàbámi jẹ́ kí dádì ẹ̀ bọ́ sójú títì kó ṣe díẹ̀ kó ta sí kí wá fún mi lórúkọ kí n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí forúkọ dádì tiẹ̀ náà fi mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí social media because that is ibi tí làákàyè ti ń dé nìyẹn. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìran tí wọ́n dá padà sẹ́yìn tí kò sí iṣẹ́ kan tí fi máa gbẹnu wọ inú yẹn nísìn no industry no nothing is working but jẹ́ ká gbọ́ lóye tọ̀sẹ́ lórí BBC interview yìí tí wọ́n ṣe ní over 3 years ago.
bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kọ́ pé gbogbo ọjọ́ ṣe tí ó sì tó máa pè wọ́n jọ tó bá mọ̀ pé nìkan lu wọn náà bá náà sì lè fi padà lè kó kọ́ pè wá.
ṣé ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ kó nípa ni àwọn kan ní Koiki máa jẹ́ kí Ìgbòho lọ ṣe kọ́kọ́ mọ́ jẹ́ kí Gani Adams jẹ́ kóun lọ́ọ́ máa dé pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ máa tún jẹ́ kí Ìgbòho because ìgbà tí Ìgbòho náà fẹ́ ṣe asọ̀kò fún ni kọ́mọ Yorùbá máa dunnú pé wọ́n wọnú ilé ọ̀fẹ́ pa Ìgbòho pressure ta go through ní 2021 yẹn Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká tún lérú ẹ̀ mọ́ ṣé àwọn péyà tó wà ní Dublin yẹn she was so happy ó rò pé Ìgbòho ti kú ní sá because I saw the video káwọn èèyàn máa dunnú pé ìbá ti sọ fún kò ń gbọ́ ìbá ti sọ fún kò gbọ́ ni how can you be happy pé èèyàn kan dúró fún ìran ẹ ó dúró fún ìran ẹ ó wá ní ẹ tó bá pápá náà nìyẹn ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ wá ní káwọn kan má pè ní àfọ̀njà ẹ̀yìn ìka àwọn kan náà Koiki fún wọn sílẹ̀ jẹ́ káwọn máa ṣe tiwọn no a lè fún wọn sílẹ̀ they are bomb bastard báyìí lè ṣe máa ní kémi fún wọn sílẹ̀ sọtẹ́mi náà bá wà nílé yẹn tó bá pa mí nísìnyí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ní kí àwọn ọmọ mi fi mí sílẹ̀ náà nìyẹn torí yóò lè jẹ́ pé ọmọ mi kan ló máa ṣe mídíà ló máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí social media tó bá yẹ pé wọ́n ti pẹ̀ mí náà àbẹ́mọ̀ kan máa pa mí ni oríwé tó gbélé di kéèlè wọn máa kàn yìnbọn pẹ̀ mí lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ni kọ́mọ Yorùbá máa dinú pé ṣèbá ti sọ fún Koiki ló ń ti Ìgbòho lẹ́nu tiwọn ìbíwọ̀ ló ń ti Ìgbòho kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé lẹ́yìn ìyàwó ẹ̀ o àìmí náà Ọlọ́run fi kẹ́mi ni Ọlọ́run ó fi ra wa kẹ́ra wa and like I said ibi tó bá ń lọ lèmi lọ bọ́ mo mọ̀ pé kò ní dalẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá má sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Koiki ṣọ́tọ̀ èrò pé àwọn bàbá dé Bánjọ yẹn ni táwa sọ fún bàbá yẹn èmi àti Ìgbòho pé bàbá Koikimedia ni èmi jagunjagun ẹ̀yin ẹ gbóhùn sókè káwá wẹ́n tó máa bá yín nínú ilé yín àtẹ̀kọ́kọ́ fún àwọn eruku sínú bíbá yín náà ẹ̀yin ẹ jẹ́ kí Koiki ṣe láìfì fún yín nísìn kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ilé tẹ̀ ń sọ fún wa tí kò ṣe máa sọ ní public gbogbo ilé tẹ̀ ń sọ fún wa nínú yàrá yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé síta bàbá Buhari ni mo bá ṣe bàbá yẹn ti pé 95 nísìn time tí wọ́n ní strength there at 95 bàbá tó wá wà below their age bàbá 89 ṣe wo difference bàbá Adébánjọ is 95 years old bàbá Akíntóyè is 89 but látara pé wọ́n fẹ́ gbà fún bàbá Akíntóyè náà ni many engagement pẹ̀lú àwọn kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ tí kò ń ṣe fún public consumption tó máa lọ bá kí ló tẹ̀ fi support ṣé wọ́n rìn kankan jẹ nínú Nàìjíríà yẹn táwa ò mọ̀ ni because there must be having some kind of mùdùmùdù kan tán rí and that's why they refuse to do what we want them to do. ìrìn àjò yóò bá ti rìn jìnnà ju gbogbo dẹ́yìn sọ yìí lọ pẹ̀lú àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tá a lọ ní underground ẹ rò pé mo lọ ṣe nílé ní ẹ rí pé wọ́n ru ni ẹ rò pé gbogbo ẹ̀dá máa gbé wá sí láìfù nígbà yẹn ni láwọn òbí tó máa ń yá ẹ lọ bá ẹ tún lọ bá àwọn ilé àlọ́ bá wọn tàbá débẹ̀ ẹ wọ́n pa mo wá ṣẹ̀rí pé àṣẹ gbogbo táwọn èèyàn máa ń pè tó máa ń pè nígbà yẹn gbà ìtẹ́yìn mo wá ti wá rí ẹlẹ́sìn pé abájọ tíyín là ń ṣe o ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí tíyín là ń ṣe ẹ kò tí wá why is everything dropping now why are you dropping everything àdébẹ̀ ìmí ìhàn náà lọ́ máa ní óyá olóyè wá bó tó bá ti ń bọ̀ má pariwo ní bíbá wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bólóyè bá ti ń lọ ariwo tàtàtà ni èmi à lọ quietly. So what I don't understand is what are they scared of? All these our mo wá ṣẹ̀rí pé gbà tí mo wá gbọ́ prophecy prophet Mayowa láàárọ̀ yìí pé gbogbo àwọn bàbá yẹn pátá ìtọ́lọ̀ ní kọ́ ṣe kọ́ ló ń ṣe wọ́n ṣe wà rí pé okay because I was wondering I mean ẹ mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀mi dẹ̀ ṣe máa assess wọn each time we go there I'm just sitting there olóyè dẹ̀ máa ẹ má because gbà mí máa fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ pé ẹ má ṣe báyìí bàbá yìí but I know that some of them are loyal but let's hope etí gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ máa ń sọ náà ni pé Tinubu tẹ̀ rí yẹn Jagaban he has done a lot in Yoruba land Tinubu tẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀rọ̀ rí tó ra ń lọ ṣùkúṣùkú yẹn èyí tó ti ṣe sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yẹn the good the bad the ugly màá kọ́ fi sílẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ the good the bad the ugly òun lọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu because I now realize that none of them were going to support us because I don't know arrangement tó wà láàrin àwọn àti Tinubu mo mọ arrangement Tinubu ní pẹ̀lú many of these people that he was able to control their mind díẹ̀ tẹ̀ ní t'Ọbásanjọ́ fat lẹ gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi yẹn gbogbo Ọbásanjọ́ tí gbogbo yẹn máa pariwo yẹn mo àwọn tó súnmọ́ bàbá dáadáa mo mọ̀ wọn kátẹ́ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n àwọn kú mi mo ṣe bá kan ní wọn sọ̀rọ̀ bí ẹ̀gbọ́n alájọjọ́ ẹ̀ àwọn oníwọ̀ ló gbúrò mi mo ní ẹ̀wọ̀n kémi busy but Tinubu has played the good the bad and the ugly and is the final straw because ẹ lè gbọmọ Yorùbá mi dìde mọ́ again tó lè face àwọn north after Tinubu mo ti ẹ fún mi lórúkọ ẹ kọ sínú comment section pé lẹ́yìn Tinubu Koiki shut up ọmọ Yorùbá yìí náà máa dìde tó máa ta sáwọn north and time is not on our side. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ó divide ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gan sáwọn aláwo ni àáfàá ni Kristẹni ni Mùsùlùmí ni but I think Yoruba people are now starting to understand that pé àwọn kò rò pé tó bá dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn máa dé gbẹ̀gẹ̀. That has been the expectation of Yoruba people. Ní 2019 mo tẹ̀lé wọn dé camp àwọn activities wọn àwọn campaign wọn kó tó ṣe election because the election was in February and I did arrive mo délé ní I think about 5 days before the election. Well, ni brother mi kan tó yẹ pé APC to the stunt mi nígbà yẹn kọ́mọ àwọn gbogbo ẹ̀ dáadáa ìbí àlọ́ ṣe fẹ́ wọ́n fẹ́ pa ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ṣe pé that was the time tó fẹ́ pa MC Olúọmọ náà he was almost killed ní gbogbo time yẹn election yẹn tí election yẹn ń bọ̀ nígbà yẹn ní 2019 So ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, what next after Tinubu? Ṣé a tún fẹ́ rí another northern president ni? And I don't know how true is it, but I saw the news that there's a friction between Tinubu and Shetima. I won't be surprised. So that is how far I can take you. Let's complete this at exactly 2 hours to the program. We have 5 minutes. We then start talking about this. Come on, we could do 3 hours long. Come on, it's strength people are late. It's been a long. I think, like I said, I'm gonna reduce my backpack. We have to put video. We gotta drop it down. Good morning, láti BBC. They came in with a backpack, so I'm gonna drop it there a little bit.
káwájọ jókòó káwájọ bá ti fẹ́ ṣe tí ò ní sí kankan ẹ̀ẹ́dúgbọ̀n kankan mọ́ ẹ̀lòmíràn ń dọ́gbò ní òwúrí mi rí ẹ̀lòmíràn ní olùkọ́mádì mọ́ olójú àwọn tí mo ṣe lójú wọn rí ẹ̀lòmíràn ló lè ṣe báyìí ẹ̀lòmíràn ti bá ṣèkan lójú ẹ̀ yóò sọ mẹ́wàá ṣé ìgbà tí mo sọ yìí ẹ̀lòmíràn sì ní ẹnu ni so àwọn tí wọ́n sọ pé ẹnu nìyẹn èmi mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́n kí nǹkan dẹ̀mí àti wọn pọ̀.
Má jẹ́ kí nǹkan da ìwà àti ẹ̀ papọ̀ ló sọ yẹn. Èmi ò ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹja dẹ̀ mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹnu ló ní ẹnu ní jẹ́ kí wọ́n kó sójà 500 lábẹ́ nínú ilé. So let's go into èyí tí bàbá kí tó ìgbélé mi lọ́wọ́. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ká tó máa wọnú ilé lọ. If you have any question regarding the upcoming event in London, if you're concerned about anything, you're worried about anything, you want to add, you want to say Koiki, ṣé ká ṣe lè ká má ṣe lè wọ́n ní ọgbọ́n lọ́gbọ́n la fi ṣe kíni la fi dá Ilé Ifẹ̀. We are all involved. You are all welcome. If you're busy, you can't make it, there's nothing you can do. But ẹ bá fi pé ọmọ kò ń ṣe torí Ìgbòho mo fi wá torí pé èmi náà ọmọ Yorùbá ṣé bọ́mọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo wa ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo wa now. And like I said, there will be resolution after the whole movement. But for now, let's just keep it going. So let's go straight into it. A day in Bonim Africa, as we do all the time, we'll not be able to read it in English. I mean in Yoruba, because but Yoruba they be dada. Benny, 3 hours ni program on Nibiba. Mo de ṣì máa kí gbogbo yín dáadáa. So mo gbọ́dọ̀ fi allowance yẹn sílẹ̀ torí ẹ̀yin ni igi lẹ́yìn bá rí bàbá mi Bashiru bó ṣe wà yẹn. You know, there are some people that are really pained. Yeah, ká ti move. Àwọn kan wà pain. Báwo la ṣe dé stage yìí? Mọ́mí tó pè mí wọn náà ti wà nílùú láti 1980. Àwọn ọmọ wọn wá ń béèrè pé mom ilẹ̀ tẹ́ ń sọ yìí pé ṣé ọ̀nà míì wà tá a tún lè gbà bí a ká tún pe Koiki. Ṣé máa bá wọn pe olóyè lọ́la? That's all we can do. Olóyè ní therapy wa. Àwọn tàbá lè ṣe. Ṣé bá ṣe máa bá lọ náà ni? Bàbá mi Oríyọmí Hamzat ni kò dẹ̀ sí ilé báyìí nísìnyí. Àbá kan gbádùn tiẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n tẹ̀ pè mí lọ sí game Arsenal. Ọlọ́run bá wà pẹ̀lú bàbá yẹn kò ṣe takuntakun. Mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣe different work. We all playing different role. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn media tó wà ní Nàìjíríà náà. Táwọn yẹn bá pè wọlé tó bá fẹ́ má tún sùn yẹn má sọ. Ìbẹ̀rù wà ní Nàìjíríà gan. Ọlọ́run kò ṣàánú. Ìgbà yóò ṣe ọ̀dọ̀ Koiki ló ti lè sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ o. Nàìjíríà lèmi wà máa kí jagaba àwọn anìkan wá gbé mi níbí báyìí o. Ẹ̀yin máa jìnnà. Imagine pé kí n parí program kí n máa retí pé mi5 máa kan lẹ̀kùn mi pé ó yá èyí tó sọ lálẹ́ nìṣó ní station. Ẹ mọ̀ pé ìtàn pè ní peace of mind nìyẹn. Yàrá kémi ò kí n ronú kankan tí máa ti parí program. Máa ń datọ́ sùn ni wàláì máa datọ́. Torí mo mọ̀ pé yàn kàn ní kan lẹ̀kùn mi pé ìwọ ló bú Tinubu báyìí. That is what I want for you. Ìyẹn làwọn èèyàn ṣe máa ń bẹ̀rù nílé. Especially àwọn tó ń ṣe radio presenter. Ẹ̀rí pé táwọn yẹn bá pè wọ́n ẹ má dárúkọ sẹ́ ibi báyìí ò kí n ṣe Koikimedia. Kò dẹ̀ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo ọlẹ́ nǹkan sí. Now let's go straight into it because it's exactly 2 hours. Our country shall be a land of enterprise and plentiful jobs. The generation expectation. Okay, I don't know whether I can do something, number. I've never tried it before. Mo wà lórí Twitter space. Even though bóyá méjì ló wà níbẹ̀. Then I will try and see if I can record while I'm doing this. I've never tried it before. Let's see. Technology. Our country, X, X is currently recording. WhatsApp will not be able to record. Technology. All right. Tabadek by ladies and Unirayo. Other better, make sure power in the audio as well. Enter our lórí Instagram Koikimedia. Àbí tí bá máa tún ṣe mí lọ́la. Tàbá kà lọ́la. Àwọn ọmọ ilé ti sùn ní sí gbogbo quiet. Yàtọ̀ sí ilé tó ń fi abọ́ pariwo nígbà. So I'll probably read it again tomorrow anyway. Our country shall be a land of enterprise and plentiful jobs. The general expectation of all humans is that jobs, opportunities for gainful employment be available, be quick and easy to get, and be transparent and free of bribery or special influence. In the 1950s, the Yoruba youth graduating from schools, colleges, and universities and seeking jobs in the Western region were commonly confident that they could get jobs in their Western region's public service and private enterprise. Enterprise. They could easily get jobs without being offsprings of prominent parents. They could easily get jobs without depending on anybody's influence, without paying any bribes to anybody. In our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, we shall return to those beautiful conditions. In the years since independence in 1960, job opportunities have deteriorated steadily and seriously in all parts of Nigeria, both in the public service and the private sector. In spite of the enormous amount of money that Nigeria has been earning from petroleum, the whole Nigerian economy has been chaotic and shrinking. Businesses have been closing down or relocating to other countries. Investors have been withdrawing investment. The economy of the Yoruba land has continued to lead in Nigeria, but the decline and the deterioration have been terribly even among the Yoruba people. Almost all the factories that were established in the Western region before the 1960s have perished. According to a survey, most of the factories that had made the Ikeja Industrial Estate the pride of the Western region by 1960 had, by 2010, been converted to church buildings or event centers. The large enterprise established by the Western region all over the regions in the 1950s had been abandoned long before 2000. The rubber tree plantation in Araromi, Obu, the second largest rubber plantation in Africa, and a sheet rubber processing plant, the palm tree plantation, the palm oil production factory in Okitipupa, one of the largest oil palm plantations in the world. The enormous citrus plantation in Apoji near Ijebu-Igbo, and its juicy canning factory in Apata Gangan, Ibadan. The livestock development estate in many places in the Western region, all have been abandoned. More than the 80% of cocoa processing industry in the Southwest were shut down before 1999. The Yoruba captains of businesses and industries who dominated the landscape in the city of Ibadan, men like Nathaniel Idowu, Amos Adegoke, Lekan Salami, Alao Arishikola, Adeola Odutola, Jimoh Odutola, Chief T.A. Oni, Chief Bode Akindele has passed away without successors. The places of most of the great Yoruba owners of businesses in Lagos in the past decades have been taken by non-Yoruba persons. Even in education, where we Yoruba were far ahead of the rest of Nigeria by 1960, we have retrogressed seriously, especially in the education standard. The condition of the roads in the Yoruba Southwest has become abominable. Neglected federal roads are strangulating with what remains of the economy of Yoruba land. We have abandoned the farm settlement strategy of the western region of the 1950s and only pay lip service to agricultural development. Instead of feeding ourselves and others like we used to do in the 1950s, we now depend on others to feed us. We produce no tomatoes, no peppers, none of the other basic food items that we consume. Altogether, the economy of the Yoruba nation has retrogressed very terribly since the 1960s. The effect of this whole situation has been disastrous on job availability. By the late 1960s, the Yoruba youth graduating from universities, college, and schools were already accumulating in the street, unable to get jobs. As the situation got worse and worse, it became common that after graduating, a youth could roam the street for as long as 10 years because of lack of jobs. Most of these battered youth sought ways to flee from Nigeria to other countries, and many succeeded in doing so. Some other ventured into the effort of reach southern Europe by crossing the arid Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea. And of these, some succeeded in making it through to Europe, but many perished in the desert or in the sea, or became enslaved in the countries of North Africa. Of the ones who remained at home, some joined criminal courts or went into outright crime, or fall into drug abuse. Mercifully, however, many of those who remain at home struggle to live normal and culturally sensible lives, even in the face of the difficulties of unemployment. But commonly, the unemployed youth could not easily take the next steps in life. They often could not get married and begin to raise families of their own. Altogether, this massive youth unemployment of the past decades has troublingly distorted the life and the morality of the Yoruba nation. We have become a country that is deeply sunk in corruption, a country in which even the poorest youth seeking a job must somehow find some money to bribe officials responsible for the employment process, a country in which one must pay large bribes for any highly paying jobs. These, together with the pervasive and ever deepening poverty in Nigeria, has pushed us Yoruba far down culturally. We have lost most our Omoluabi love of kith and kin. Respect for the dignity of every person, concerning for the well-being of community and people. Love of enterprise, love of mutual cooperation and help. We have gone down culturally, and we are now close to being a country of the loveless, the hopeless, the cynical, the perverse, of falsehood, of hatred, insult, and cursing for a living, the fraudsters, the traitor, the irresponsible, and the violent. In the current struggle for Yoruba self-determination, many gifted young men and women will rather criticize, sneer, and even insult and curse at the actors like Igboho and Babakitoye and the YSDM and the world media and the independent media, and fabricate and propagate lies. Ó ti kówó rédíò jẹ, ó ti gba owó security, ó ń fi Yorùbá nation pawó ni. With these trends, awful shadows hang over the future of our Yoruba nation. In our new country, orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, all these disastrous trends will be quickly eliminated. Nigerian culture of corruption will vanish. unemployment and its debilitating and corrupting effect will very quickly disappear. An emphasis on the youth development will set the pace for rapid national development, similar to what was achieved in the small island country of Singapore in Southeast Asia. In a few years in the late 1960s, in 1965, Singapore was a very poor state in the Federation of Malaysia. It had no resources. Even its drinking water was piped from other states on the mainland. Its greatest problem was its massive unemployment youth, who frequently disturbed the peace by rioting in the streets. As a result of a riot which lasted for months in 1965, the Malaysian parliament voted that Singapore should leave the federation. Singapore thus suddenly became a separate sovereign country without any preparation, without any resources, and without any economic strength. The Singaporean politician who had to make the announcement to the people of Singapore wept audibly as he made the announcement on the radio. Yet, 10 years later, ọdún mẹ́wàá péré, Singapore was rated as one of the most successful economies in the world. That can happen if only everybody supports the Yoruba exit out of the contraction known as the 1914 amalgamation. It was a miracle, and Singapore achieved it by focusing on development of its youth as the centerpiece of its national policies. The details of these are simple and widely known in the world. With this youth development approach, together with the high technology strategies of our time, high technology strategy that our people in the diaspora worldwide have been exposed to abundantly, we Yoruba will achieve a highly advanced economy for our new country in even less than 5 years. Imagine if we have the country today. In 5 years, Amari impact. Nobody will disturb us on the farm. Nobody will want to kill us. Nobody will dare take what belongs to us again forever. What option do you prefer? That means that in about 5 years, our country will be one of the most highly developed countries in the world. We will not have any reason to be here, maybe for holiday, part exchange programs, and we'll return back home. And home will be Yoruba land. In fact, our country may sometimes run short of workers, just like skilled workers are needed in this country. We need many carers, we need nurses, we need doctors, and that means UK immigration will open up for a while and allow you to come in, and they close it again. And as more people are not needed in Canada, Australia, like I told you, earned 42 billion US dollars in Australian dollars, which is about $27 billion in education, is one of the 4th largest income in Australia, education, by those that wants to study in Australia. Just as some of the richest countries in the world, such as Canada, Britain, and United States are doing, they need people to come and help. That is where we Yoruba nation are going. Is that not good enough? Hey, Fenya, you are more concerned about Koikimedia. You are more concerned about my news to the world. That is the bad news about Nigeria. You're not worried about how you can become a fully engaged Yoruba citizen, working, making money, buying Lamborghini, buying Ferrari, without killing each other or intimidation. Of course, that is where we're going. That is our goal, our Omoluabi culture, our well-known Yoruba love of enterprise. Kò síbi tó bá dé lágbàáyé. I told you that my mom traveled to 23 countries around the world, and I'm sure most of your own parents must have done more than my mom. These were enterprise women. She was also a secretary at the Mobile Oil during that era. She was told to go with her boss, Chief Fayinde or something like that, to Geneva. My mom turned it down. Why would I go out of a location that I'm enjoying, that I have everything, to go and live in Geneva? I was not born around that time yet, or maybe I was not. I don't know. But today, if I offer you a visa to Geneva, I'm sure this place will not contain every one of us. My mom was offered a free to go and live there, but she refused to. My younger sister was born here in the United Kingdom in the 80s. Not because my mom wanted to give her here. It was just a coincidence. Those are the British citizens. Not like me, that have to go through a rough terrain of 15 years fighting to remain in this country. I wish you good luck for those of you that have just started the journey. You will be patient. You will pray. You will fast. But you will be patient. It will not happen in one day. And I'm talking to you. And those of you that have already been in the system, don't give up yet. You will have it, but it's just that Home Office are very busy. They are busy people. Our own immigration will be much busier than this, because people will want to come and live with us. So immigration and if it's I look forward to that time. Some of you might say, which time? Which time? They play. When the crisis starts, I won't be playing anymore. I cannot pray enough to see when we go on the M1 and we can slow Nigeria down, because there will be heavy traffic on the M1. If you have traveled through the M1 and there's a traffic, you will understand what I'm talking about, and you will meet all kind of different people when you go on the M1. That is where we Yoruba nation are going, just to go take you one more step. That is our goal, our Omoluabi culture, our well-known Yoruba love of enterprise, collaboration, and dedicated attention to the weak and infirm among us. Weak, rather than them even be given water so that they can have strength, they are poisoning them one at a time. A country that doesn't love its citizen. I wonder what the citizens still want to gain in Nigeria. But you are more paying about me as a person. You are not paying about what the country is doing to you. And I'm talking to those that still believe in one Nigeria. We will make laws, not to go further, and the decency of our lives and our interpersonal ethnic will bounce back. Of course, we will make laws and evolve social policies to aid this cultural and moral revival. But the economic upsurge itself will go a long way to liberate our people from disease. I've just picked the news that Microsoft owner Bill Gates is coming again to Nigeria. For what purpose? I don't know. Don't ask me. The masses of our people in the diaspora will return to contribute and to share in the rapid change and prosperity. Àwọn tó ń fún ẹ lówó tó ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kó wálé, they will return back home. Look, if I'm driving Uber in the UK, I would rather come and drive Uber in Yoruba land. If I'm doing media in the UK as a journalist, I would rather do the same thing in Yoruba land. If I'm a kitchen porter, I will do that in Yoruba land, but with respect and dignity. Our country will grow to become a loving, laughing, humiliated family people by contented and confident men, women, and children. And we can do it. So this is going to be our topic till Sunday, as we are now in week 16. So what we're going to do, we have about 40 minutes to play with. Koikimedia, Grandma Felicia Jagbe, Don Kelvin. If you join me on the Koikimedia, on the OLAYOMI KOIKI Instagram, so that we can open the phone line and take 1 or 2 calls, and then our 3 hours will then fit in. Then I can start appreciating every single one of you, so that we can see why do we want to be in a country that doesn't provide enterprise and plentiful jobs? Or ǹjẹ́ rò pé Tinubu máa provide iṣẹ́ fún wa? That is where I want you to join in as well, so that you are not saying that I'm the only one talking. We're giving you the opportunity to engage as well. So it might be no interval. I will have to end this section. Thank you so much. The number is the same if you have the number. If you don't have the number, I will share the number with you. If you're new to this platform and you're saying, look, all this is not going to happen, well, I won't argue with you. But like I said, Nigeria itself is winding down. It could take another 1 year, 2 years, but I never witness the kind of Nigeria that we have seen again. Because for every day we are doing this, we are gaining ground. Only slow, but we are gaining the ground. So if you want to join in and call in while the line is still open, +44 UK code WhatsApp 74. The reason why we don't take normal calls on this platform is because the WhatsApp and the normal call will be interrupting. So normal call, override into WhatsApp. Not because I am scared of anybody, I do receive normal calls, it doesn't matter. Look, the British government knows what I do. Likewise, the international community. What we're doing is not a crime. It is exactly what they expect me to do. Educate you and prepare you for the exit of Nigeria. But if we don't do it, nobody's coming to do it. +44 74 04 405 917. I want to now pick on something that I said earlier that was sent to me through one of our listeners that want me to share with you, known as the how we should think about the industrialized nation. A country that is not industrialized is as useless as Nigeria. So as I say, I'll start mentioning your name. Frank Dudo, I cite you. Spark Lizzie, OLAKUNLE, Shita. I've missed you so much. It's costing me so much money to produce banners. Until now that we have to do it and pay. Peter Pan, shout out to you. Clement, Muke Alaji Bashiru, GR1, Muke into our Instagram, Tokyo 778, and the rest of you, Nifan Mustafa, Prince Awoni, and all my team and all the Koikimedia team. Now, this is an headline from the Guardian newspaper. Renew calls for the UK industrial strategy to bring in investment and fix the BRICS exit damage. Billions risk being lost without joining up policy on tech and robotic, renewables and training, says manufacturing body. Thank you so much, those of you that continue to also appreciate what I do. Like I said, if I don't do it, somebody else will do it. So let me share the link. If you, I can't do the share on Facebook because Facebook continues to restrict me. Akintade Olaya, shout out to you, sir. Muki Bishop Additional, and thank you so much. Okay, link here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share it on my community. The community means that is a place where you can follow. Okay, link here mashi because it's a break, but you have an idea. Let me see. Okay, there's she now, and I can share it break. So I'm going to share it on my X handle, and also I'm going to share it in case you want to go and see in Kotimonkai, because it's always good to tell you where we are reading from. We've talked about 3 things so far. We started with appreciating the Biafra government in exile for hating, talking about Igboho and why security is paramount in the day Yoruba like this. Yes, this day will come. It will be like a dream. Some might say it's not going to happen. So let's quickly read because, like I said, I'm also a little bit tired, but I can still complete the last part. UK manufacturers have renewed calls on the government to urgently draft an industrial strategy that will bring in investment and fix the terrible damage caused by the BRICS exit deal. So just to explain, if I want you into UK, so listen, look, we left BRICS exit in as much as that is what the people wanted. What we want now is Africa Nigeria, but they don't want us to have that. Yet, Nigeria is not providing all the basic amenities, the well-being, the security, everything that makes people to be people until death. Even death should be something that, at the last resort, the government must make sure that they are doing everything to prevent you from dying, but not in Nigeria. Last week, I didn't know what, I put a call to the 111. No, I filled the form online, the NHS, and within 1 hour, I received a phone call. That phone call then said to me, your request, whatever my request was, which is not for public consumption, will be dealt with again within the next 1 hour. Within 1 hour, I received a call, not from my own GP, from another GP, because it was a weekend. And that GP, went through with me and then eventually say, this is what you're going to do, blah, 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 and then move to the next. So what I'm trying to say is that, and I'll get in the service. Can you do the same thing in Nigeria? From the website, then you get a call from the, Loot Hospital. That is the studio number there, that has been, for those of you that still want to call in. So, in terms of the UK manufacturers, just like the Nigerian manufacturers, let's type in Nigerian manufacturer so that way we have an idea, what is happening with the Nigerian manufacturer as of today. Nigerian manufacturing, okay? Sector statistics, okay? And I'm going in accordance to what Google is giving me, just by saying Nigerian manufacturing sector statistics. The Nigerian manufacturing output for 2022 was 64.25 billion, a 0.25% decline from 2021. The Nigerian manufacturing output in 2021 was 64.41, a 17.65% increase from 2020. So, all increased there in 2020. But nígbà tó máa fi dé 2022, ó drop down. Only God knows how much it is right now. So, when the Yorubas that are outside and the Yorubas that are inside, because I don't want to make it look like Awatawa, Nitalawa, intelligent, we are all the same. You are well read in Nigeria. It's just that the right materials and the tools to complete that education, and you spend more years as a student. Some of you because of the strike and all mess put together by this shit or country we call a country, which is not a country anyway. So the manufacturing industry are the one that should be telling the government, this is what you need to know, this is what you need to do. What is Nigerian biggest industry? It's the oil sector. And the oil sector should not be the only thing that will give us the income, like we always do on the OECD. In 2021, we were earning 50-something billion on oil. But let's look at every country just to look at their own. Okay, I've given you Australia. Australia. Let's use the Australia education. So I'm going to Google that now. Kí ló dé tí Australia ń pàṣẹ lórí education? Australia education income. According to the Australian government at www.education.gov.au, international education was worth 36.4 billion to the Australian economy. There was 21.8 billion paid as goods and services, and 14.6 billion was paid for tuition fee. Let's break it down. What we are being told is that in Australia, they have a sound, robust education system. And that means that everybody wants to go there and further their education, but it is not free. It might be free to some extent to the citizen, but not to the foreigners. So in the future, we should not be thinking about one sector should give us income. Nigeria sat on the oil sector for too long. rather than expand, rather than make industries, rather than train Nigerians to be able to do things, they were sucking the money out, and everybody was thinking that we are Baba Olowo. But in the nutshell, the ripple effect is now happening years back, when the money and the crude oil was selling at a good rate, which also caused the fight between Abiola and Babangida that led to the death of MKO. So we can see that it's a country that was never meant to be, because if it was truly a country, the wealth that was being pushed out from the oil sector should have been pumped back to support the economy, support the education system, and maybe we could have had more income just from the education. So what the British manufacturing is saying today is that while the country cannot compete with the financial incentives in the Inflation Reduction Act in the US or the Green Deal in the EU, Britain can still compete on innovation. Che, our Yoruba compete on innovation. Yes, we can. Because we know what you all are doing with the little technology that you have at the moment. The OICs or the OCs or something, they're going to be playing music. Where's my paper? I'm going to Metro. They will be playing in Manchester. And already there is inflation in the ticketing for hotel. Hotel is costing about £500 to 700 for a night, and people are ready to pay. Kò ṣe àwọn tó wà ní UK ló fi sanwó, àwọn tó fi fly wá láti abroad. Some of you don't know that the Aussies definitely may be the only price rise winner. Aussies will be the only winners from the dynamic pricing system that left ticket buyers paying up to £350 report claim. Ticketmaster was accused of flexing fans by raising the price of ticket for the 90s band long awaited reunion, line with demand as Uber does for riders. But ticket sales agencies say cash from the inflated Oasis ticket price will go to the band, the Daily Mail reported. Do you know what there is a lot of what we can make money out of. But what they wanted to tell Nigerians is that no, we will still all be rich, like all our A-list celebrities. But we must go and call a God before we can be rich. We don't need to call it God. We can be innovative. We can be expert in technology, in making things to challenge the world. Let's look at it this way. Why is Elon Musk very powerful? Every day I see Tesla on the road. He's becoming very powerful as an individual. Tikudenshi government. We can crack as well. We have the knowledge. But the thing is, we have a country that can do that. And that is buying into, supporting, putting every strength that you have so that we can achieve Yoruba nation. You will not achieve dime in Nigeria. You will die as a puppet. And will probably not even remember that you died. Ekiti. People will probably remember that they've lost a retired man, or from Ondo State going to Ekiti. The wife, only God knows how much they will have to pay to get her back out of that mess. So let's go further because of my time. I have a lot of chief executives from international companies coming into my office and telling me they have billions to invest and that UK is a candidate, but they are not investing anything unless they know what the plan is, said the head of Make UK, Stephen Filson, speaking before the meeting on Wednesday with the Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Do you know what that means? Tinubu is not going to get all that. Boba will jet all over the world. Nobody will bring in their investment to Nigeria because Nigeria, they can see, is finally collapsing. There will still be a pocket of, the risk one, because I want to invest in Nigeria right now. They've looked at the risk assessment. If anything go bust, they're ready to go and let whatever they are risk. What do I mean by that? Coca-Cola that is producing Coke in Nigeria today can say, look, we will be here. They don't care. You think they care? They don't care. They don't care about us. But we will continue to, even during the war, we will sell you Coke because you need Coke for energy. But the moment it goes bust, they will abandon everything and they will evacuate their people and they will count their loss or their losses. And that goes to any other company that is still currently investing in Nigeria. But the ones that doesn't want to take that chances are the ones that are pulling out gradually. I told you about one of our followers. The Chinese sold all their, they don't want to have anything that owns to their name. They want us to rent, hire, lease. That's what they want to do now. They don't want to be engaged with anything property in Nigeria. They sold everything out, especially their vehicles. I won't give you the name, but they're operating heavily in Nigeria. Not that everybody would do exactly what I'm saying, but when it goes bust, those that have invested would care less. But are you thinking that chief executive will be sitting with Tinubu and say, Jagaban, come here. We know you need money. Look, we have boku money. And investors have money, bastard money that they want to put somewhere and take returns and make money as well. Because nobody wants to put their money somewhere that they don't want to make a return. I don't think you want to do that. But you might be asking, but can you return? Then you know if you make the Yoruba nation so that we can have peace, we can have our true identity, and we can be far away from the mess that we are in right now, because we are all inside the well. But as people are pushing up, some people want to drag us down. Who are those that wants to drag us down? I'm sure you all know that. So let's read this quickly. Industry strategy is so urgent. How many industry do you think that Tinubu will be able to provide? Industry we need this tomorrow, he added. Fifteen whose body represent industry players ranging from Rolls-Royce. How many people know Rolls-Royce? Let's go and look at the value of Rolls-Royce today so that you know what I'm talking about. Let's look at the value of this organization. Value of the company, not the car. Wow. Heavy. You want me to share with you? Remember that these are not education like we told you in Australia, and this is not Australian money. Well, this is even in pound sterling. As of today, the market value on the stock for Rolls-Royce is valued at 39.49 billion pounds. They have the money. They want to invest in Nigeria, but they're looking at everything and asking themselves, because they have to have a board of committees that will decide that before taking it to their investors. Who are the investors? People that are buying the shares. That look, we now seen a good market because Tinubu is a good man. It's different from Buhari. It will give us leverage, maybe a bit of incentive there and there, because they have to do the presentation after whoever must have gone to them and said, look, come and invest in Nigeria. Money day here, people day here. We are hungry, but they have to first review it. They go meeting and meeting, and they will then start saying to themselves, do we want to take £1 billion and put it in Nigeria? Why? When the UK is already building a better opportunity for us, why not let us go to India, the fourth largest economic in the world today? I think getting people think Yoruba nation is about Fulani in the fourth. It's far more than that. Rolls-Royce can give us the £1 billion as Yoruba country, and we can invest that in the security sector alone. And they will be getting a return because our country will be secured for more investors to come in. How many investors will Tinubu get before he leaves office? I'm sure none. Investors may look like Tinubu marry before he goes out of the office. So why are we telling lies? Ẹ̀yin tí à ń sọ fún tẹ́lẹ̀ pé ẹ máa ń fi pé bóyá we are just here talking without a fact. So let's go further and see. Maybe I'm right with that figure. Okay. Should I share more details with you? The headquarters of Rolls-Royce is here in the United Kingdom. The CEO, Tofan, will not invest in Nigeria. The risk will be too much. He is the one that will make the final decision, Chief Executive Officer. Do you know that in the UK, they have, or maybe, I don't know, maybe this is UK or the general, Rolls-Royce have 41,400 staff, employees. And each one of them are being paid without being cheated. Because this is a company that makes money. They have incentive. You know, there are some jobs that tells you can go to the gym, you get incentive. If you're traveling, you get incentive. If you want to stay in the hotel, people like us, when we work in the hotel, you will always get discount in multiple hotels. So what is it that you want? Right now, most of you are not doing nothing. Most of you, as we speak right now, you are doing literally nothing when you should be supporting the economic of Nigeria to grow. And I'm not talking about in the crude oil or in the politics. I'm talking about in innovation. The revenue that Rolls-Royce made in 2023 is valued at 16.49 billion pounds sterling, not in dollar. Remember that pounds is heavier than dollar. All they need to give Tinubu is 1 billion pounds. Would they do that? Do you think that they will take the risk to invest 1 billion pounds into the Nigerian economy today? This is why Babakito will say, our country shall be a land of enterprise and the plentiful jobs, because the future is bright for every single one of us. Somebody's asked, how much is Rolls-Royce company worth? In euro, it says 50 billion euro. This makes Rolls-Royce number 341 most valuable company by market cap according to our data. Do you understand why we should not stay in Nigeria? Because it is dragging our foot back, regardless of your age. Koiki, I'm 20 years old. That is the time you should be trying to make money, but in a society that works. How big is Rolls-Royce company? Products: civil, military, aero, engineer, marine propulsion, system power generator equipment. Do you know that there are some companies in this world that I might not know, but they are there? But don't produce. Okay, you might be wondering why I have two mouths. Okay, I'll use this as an example. This is a good example, okay? What is the difference between the two? I'm sure people will know. What is the difference between the two? This is the mouse. This is one, this is one. One is working for this laptop, one is working for this laptop. What is the difference? I want to read the comment section. Kini yato mejeji. The difference is this one is wireless and this one is wired. Oni okun, ele olokun. In tomo signal wasinu bibai, losinu laptop ele. I'll remove it now. Is this small little device. If I try to operate this mouse now, it's dead. That is Nigeria. In Toji Adu Nigeria, what you are wasting your bloody health time. You idiot. Can't suffer. Ẹ kò máa ń jẹ́ kí inú bíyàn nígbà míì ni. Adùn tó wà ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti gbọ́n yọ gbogbo tó wà ń bẹ̀ nísìn. It's nothing more than kill yourself even when there is a lot lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn. This I only bought at £3.99 because mo realize pé mo máa ń struggle tí bá ní two laptop tí mo fi operate màmá fọwọ́ ṣe lé kí ni mo fi máa stress ara mi fún ẹbí mi náà ni mo ti ṣe engineering níwọ̀nba díẹ̀. I don't bought this while I use this for that. Continue to say you want one Nigeria, okay? Now, it's not even about the make. I mean, this one is idea pad gaming, while this one is Equatech, but one is wired and one is wireless. I don't know what more we can do to explain to our people, but I know that one day, so I'm going to turn it off and turn back in, and hopefully it will pick itself. As we're about to finish this program in 15 minutes, don't let anybody fool you that it cannot be done. It can be done if we all get involved. We will push them aside. I keep telling you that. We just need the numbers to build that force and then create that crisis. And whatever that crisis means, for 52 days, 52 days with the numbers, Nigeria will collapse. Brother me and John Noah, Daniel Niyi Mukin, Asha Atishe Ile Yoruba. For every day I see her, I haven't spoken to her. I'll try and find out what's going on, how far we've raised money to support her. Tebashi wa lórí program ẹ bá fi PayPal account yẹn síta káwọn èèyàn lè ṣe kíni kó lè bá wa gbọ́nwọ́ sí àwo so that we can raise the $500 that you need. Prince Ademola Heritage, thank you so much. Mobile Heritage, no sorrow, he'll be in the rally and he'll be participating as well. Ghana is after the money, according to Alan Conley. Say our kings are Muslims, are Christians, and now they are not like our forefathers. Millions of people, Alan Conley, are very foolish, idiot, and very stupid. They know the right things to do, but they will not do it. Very sad. Donate to Koikimedia. Thank you so much. Eshegoni Grandma Motire Owanyi Pelu support wa Yawa Joke Bodunri. Tinubu went there to collect his own. It's not for Yoruba. You can see his attitude. And Ipelosun, it's 12 midnight already, so I'm gonna wind down because I'm not feeling too, just a little rest. My brother, people's mind are still in slavery, so they are not ready for free from the Britain, politicians, kings, and our leaders. It's very sad. Like I said, Tinubu, has destroyed a lot, and I don't know what we're going to do with him. We pray that he listens so that he can break up Nigeria, and if he does not, there will be danger ahead. Solio Popola sọ pé Ọ̀jájá was in Ilorin to reunion with Yoruba of Ilorin. Wow. Anigba oni Kábíyèsí wa. I didn't know that. Thanks so much for that. I didn't know that. We got, like I said, Kwara is part of us. Kogi is part of us. Eshegoni, Mr. Odunsi Oluwase, wanted the wealth of mind country, land of enterprise. Wallahi. Into wà lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn ó kọjá ọ̀rọ̀ àfiṣe politics lọ, but we gotta be out there. Lọlá Súnkànmí mo mọ̀ kó wà ń bẹ̀, my brother. Nigerian army confirms delay in payment of August salary. Nigerian army wọ́n náà wọ́n ti lè san August salary adẹ̀tí wà ní 3rd. Ìlú yìí ẹni tó máa gba owó gan máa ti san fún a day before. There are sometimes glitch, but they will rectify it within 24 hours. Bí ẹ wọ́n máa san lọ́la. My brother, shout out to my family on the other side there. Love you so much and keep up the good work. We're all playing it. Sometimes Elomio come on social media. Emma share, Emma tweet. I don't like to be saying that I want Biafra will control X. We know that we have Yorubas there, but on Yoruba to support Yoruba nation. No mind Sava Wanibe. I should take that for a loba and call one bot. Okay, everybody timbo. So maybe just this call alone and then we wind it down. Oya Baba ṣe ní kíá bàbá, I need 11 minutes. Ẹ̀gbọ́n sókè sà, ẹ ti wà lórí ètò. Ẹ mute tinú ilé tẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ mi. Ìyàwó delayed. Ẹ mute tinú ilé. Ẹ ti wọlé sà.
Yeah, okay. I'm mute, listen. Okay. Yeah, it's mute.
Go ahead, I'm going to sing.
Okay. So what I'm trying to just contribute is this. Ẹni tó bá lóun mọ anything in Nigeria now is a fool. Now, gbogbo gíragíra kan sọ láti ọdún ìwá at least náà bá rí nǹkan kan tó ń ṣe wọ́n rí wípé kò sí any policy tó ń work. Wọ́n náà máa san 70,000 fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ mi tí gbọ́gbọ́ àwọn ti ń san o.
Tinubu tó yá tó bá dé láti China.
Nobody is saying about that. Àwọn NYC 30,000 náà fún wọn. Kí ni ìyẹn fẹ́ rà? They are just suffering those people. And the PDP only force àwọn tó ní àwọn ní opposition tó wà òkè. Now they are calling Jonathan to come back. It means that they will go every one of them. They are after their own life. Jonathan ṣe dáadáa ni.
Ṣé àwọn pé ẹ má bínú kí tó lọ gbàgbé University of Ibadan tuition fee is now 412,000 naira per session. Ẹ̀gbọ́n sókè sá.
Let me tell you, I just pay my education. I just pay my daughter's school now.
Okay.
Ibadan. Just to do master, I just pay that of our home. Yàtọ̀ sí 500 tó fi gbalé. So I spend nothing less than 1.something million that. So you see, that's one. This is the minimum son in Jetta.
Sure.
So it's not. One day I talk about to law school. I don't know something come out. So everything is finished. Oh, I like your analogy. Without your remote, one with wire. Cherry can tell you, you've been in Nigeria, she didn't have 2021. Korofo ní Nàìjíríà wà now kò sí nǹkan tán lè ṣe sẹ́ Mr. Koiki ẹ̀ mo máa ń sọ every time kò sí policy tó máa work because kò sí Nàìjíríà ní tẹ́kù Ọlọ́run òun sọ fáwọn tó ń gbàdúrà àwọn pastors why you are wasting your time, you are wicked. If anybody is praying for Nigeria now níbi tá kí n ta ìjẹ́lẹ̀ ní every day ṣé Ọlọ́run wá gọ̀ ni Bíbélì ní Ọlọ́run ò gbọ́ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀. So what are we talking? So my brother, the analysis, the only thing either fair or Ali Benny, who say Otobaya, things will burst out.
Definitely.
The only thing people come and advise, maybe àwọn ọmọ yìí, àwọn Biafra, àwọn Igbo, àwọn gbogbo can't stop àti Yorùbá, can't stop all this hatred war. Let us agree together. It's a common thing.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Everybody lost it here. So the Lord bless you. I really appreciate you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much. And I'm using this opportunity to always, I do receive, many of your words of encouragement. Grandma cannot send this. Brother Koiki, the Lion of Judah, the tribes of Jesse. God bless you and all that pertaining to attain Yoruba nation. Greeting to your children. I mean, you might not know how this means to us. It means a lot. Kenny Bright, Moriembe, Nibugbo, we have 7 minutes and you time here. Mumbo Akenta remix Kenny Bright and the rest of those in Libya. I mean, you wonder even Libya doesn't have a government. Into Chipuju in Libya, Mr. Femi, thank you so much. Okay, Kyle Demoki is petrol Chipuju. Omiwa expensive in Libya than petrol. It's very sad that Yoruba people cannot really push together, and then we can demand our exit, which is our right. Sheon Oyenaike Mukeyi. And if you look at the businesses that the Yorubas have set up outside the country, it's booming. She Babato Dale, She Brady Lenny, Canada La Sony. Do you know how many Yoruba people are doing fantastically well with their businesses in America, in Canada, in the UK here? They're trying their best. Even in the midst of inflation there and there, government support to make sure that our businesses doesn't collapse and fold up on us, because as a business owner, it's a very difficult task, especially small scale business. If you penetrate a big store, if you want product so it's a challenging one. But pé kíyàn kan wá sí UK kó wá lọ sí Costco kẹ wá raise kẹ ra gbogbo Costco kẹ gbé lọ sí Nigeria when we can produce the same thing in Nigeria. It's very sad, and I pray that more of our people will wake up. Allow Babani, Iba is the definition of a dead, so the other one here, Dilobere, that can only pee. It can't do the real thing. Maybe Ibali is surprised, well, who knows? You know, Ogumola Biodo, my brother, I love you so much. Atenta Lori tweet, Ori mix LR. And on that note, let's call it a morning. It's already the 3rd day of the month of September. Happy birthday in advance to anyone celebrating. Our prayer focus is that how soon, I don't know. But I know that something will spark. And that spark is what we don't know. Everybody's just, everybody can't Tinubu, do what can be done before it is too late. And if you don't, there's not much we can do. Gbogbo in diaspora, then support àwọn èèyàn nílé at this very difficult time. I am doing my best as well within the little capacity. It is not easy, but we can only pray for our people. Thank you so much, Dizzy Man, and also for all the contributors, whether you are in this platform or you are not in this platform, whether through the email, WhatsApp, phone calls, whether through your little input. October 12th, let's all come together and meet Igboho. And as I leave the last comment, Father Tunde Yusuf, brother, Mr. Koiki wo, Odisua, no policy is workable in Nigeria again. And to bá ti sí policy, kò sí nǹkan kan tó máa ṣiṣẹ́. Oran yola máa sùn. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Bàbá Kító mo kí dáadáa. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn YSDF. Mo kí gbogbo yín tí ẹ wà nílé tó jẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run bá wà pẹ̀lú yín. Èmi náà lè wà ní Nàìjíríà ní situation yìí kọ́ máa bá wa sọ jẹun pé but there's nothing we can do. Ọlọ́run ló fi àwa kan síta. Ọlọ́run ló fi ẹ̀yin sínú ilé for now. It's a temporary measure, but I'm sure the future will be bright. Tó ní pẹ́ mọ́. Ojú ló kán ìbòjì, ọ̀run máa débẹ̀. Mo kí olóyè Igboho, Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì. Shout out to all our Biafrans. We will have dispute. We will not agree. We will not align and everything, but they've done something again yesterday that we are proud of. That person could have been a dead man, and we know what we're talking about. But he was rescued because somebody spoke out on his behalf. It is just called an alliance. It doesn't mean anything. Good night, and God bless Yoruba Nation. God bless Biafra. God bless Ambazonia. God bless all the freedom fighters around the world. And we hope that Tinubu, Nnamdi Kanu, return to the court this month. We now have 2 new people that have taken over the Chief Justice and the DSS. Maybe something surprising will come towards the end of this month. Who knows? That Tinubu must shock àwọn Fulani by releasing Nnamdi Kanu. I don't know. I really do. I spot you there. Let's go and sleep. Good night. Thank you, everybody. Odaro.